19, Pretoria 6 and 21, Vereeniging 0, peaking at 20 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: the Electoral Commission says online registration will remain open until the Cooperative Governance Minister officially proclaims the date for the local government elections.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
6 minutes after 6 o'clock. It is a Monday morning. It's the 3rd of August, the year of our Lord, 2026. My name is Bongani Bingwa. Welcome to the program. On our menu today, we look at the Comrades, the ultimate race of human endurance, parts ways with Athletics South Africa. What does it mean for the runners? What does it mean for qualifying for the race? If that particular marathon is now no longer associated with all the others, we'll be speaking to the chairperson of the Comrades Marathon Association. And then a really important conversation, I think, for South Africa at this time. Merit versus representation. Are we getting it right insofar as our public institutions are concerned? Are we getting the balance of that right? How do you have a concentration in senior leadership of people either from the same community, same network, same region, and avoid things like groupthink? Right? How do you avoid even the appearance of impropriety when that kind of thing happens? Once Mutewa goes in, all of Ekurhuleni can now come in. Or is it unfair to assume certain things based purely on people's background? It's a tricky one, isn't it? And then we'll bring you the latest singer to be unmasked. 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa, brought to you by BCX, helping South African organizations turn cloud, data, and AI investments into faster decisions, smarter operations, and measurable business outcomes.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 after 6, I'm not alone, of course, and I hope you had a fantastic weekend. What did you get up to? Were there any highlights to celebrate? It's always nice to have that weekend that is the last of the month or the first of the new month, as it were. What did you do? Any celebrations? Any noteworthy event you want to let us know? Send us a WhatsApp voice note on 072-702-1702. My colleagues, as ever, in the studio, Muteo Horipe and Amoramela. A fantastic Monday to you both. Did you have a good weekend?
Great weekend. Good morning, Bongs, and to the 702 landers. It started on Friday. I was on the edge of my seat watching Banyana. And last second, really, literally, they drew the match, which gives them a slight chance making it to the next round. So it was good to see them fight like that, but I don't think they're at their best, really, at this tournament. But yeah.
Apologies or no apologies,
yeah,
eh?
Apologies or no apologies. The start of the PSL season. So yeah, it was an exciting weekend.
The Commonwealth Games was a particular highlight. Some good, some not. Some of the decisions in terms of that relay team just left me astounded in terms of who was included and who was not. So that was a particular highlight. Amo?
Very good morning, 702 lenders, and of course to the team. Well, I had a good weekend as well. Kids' birthday parties. I'm raising really well-behaved kids, I must say. You know,
I do love your kids.
They really make me proud when we are out and about. They are so well-behaved, you know.
Tell me.
Yeah.
And I've had this debate with my kids, right? Where whatever you do in the house that irritates me or drives me crazy, right?
Yeah.
I can almost allow it, providing that when you go to Auntie Amo's house or Uncle Muteo's house, you are on that best behavior. And my kids get that, right?
Yeah.
They could be the laziest buggers at home, but sweetie, when they're out there in the world.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm okay with you faking it, eh?
Is this an unsaid agreement or you had a discussion?
We've actually had the discussion because the feedback I often get is great. It's fantastic about. And I'm like, but you're not like that at home. And their whole thing is but I've got to represent. So it's almost, I do get, because I'm a
Yeah.
Virgo and apparently I'm OCD. I don't know. I'm accused. I deny. But, we do have fights around neatness and blah, blah,
Yes.
blah in the house. But I can almost deal with that. They mustn't go and take that bad behavior outside the
Outside
house.
the house. Yeah, definitely. But I haven't had that conversation with them. It's just something that I've seen when I go out with them, that they are really
Yeah.
well behaved. And then, of course, another highlight was Orlando Pirates. Guys, we have to give Orlando Pirates their flowers. Which team in South Africa can sell out jerseys just within a week of it launching?
Have you seen them?
Beautiful.
Have you seen them?
Beautiful, beautiful jerseys.
And usually you can sort of decide if you want the away one
Yes.
or the home game one. Yay.
Sold out. I saw on social media people saying, I can't find a size. It's only the large sizes that are left. And even that large size is only the one that's remaining in the store. So it's been really beautiful to see. And also fill up a stadium when there is no cup game or a big team playing against it, right? The Amstel
That should
Arena
be the
was
norm.
filled up to
That
capacity.
should be the norm.
I
That
was
should be the norm.
impressed.
Absolutely. All right, tell us about your weekend. Of course, we've got other colleagues behind the scenes putting the show together. We've got producer Siamtanda and Bapelila, and of course, KG will be starting the clock. As always, we start the show with a shout out, a question that illustrates something that we think you ought to know about that's in the news. And I want to know from you simply this: with which social media app do you have a love-hate relationship? You need it, maybe for work, maybe for family, but you wish you didn't, right? So it's the bane of your existence, if you will. And what's your concern? What annoys you about it? Do you worry about safety? Or is it endless group chats and notifications and people's statuses and voice notes? Voice notes being added to groups. Is it an app where strangers can access you via direct messaging and making all sorts of appeals, and you must save the world and save the children and save the whales and save the cats and save the dogs and save the rats and save the rabbits and save the trees and save the leaves, save the roots? You get what I mean? Do you think I had to get this off my chest? Amu?
It has to be TikTok for me. I'm okay with WhatsApp and the voice messages, the voice calls, the video calls, everything. We can do all of that on TikTok. Yeah. And
Why?
And I introduced my brother to TikTok. Now he uses it to just send these videos. And I'm just like,
Isn't that the point of TikTok?
You don't like reels?
I mean, I do, but I'm not as
You don't want to be in a relationship?
No, I don't like that. TikTok, and I have to be on it for work, as well as sometimes to see the teenagers in my life, what they are doing, what they're up to, what they are, what they are resharing and what have you. But I just, I can't.
Lapis. It just tires you. Butel?
For me, it would have to be WhatsApp. I do have a love and hate relationship with WhatsApp. The fact that everyone that's close to me, I can get direct contact with, but also for the same reason. Somebody can just drop a message to my number. They don't even know me. Sometimes they just call you directly without even letting you know who they are. So WhatsApp sometimes is just... and then there's endless groups that are created and you added there. You can't leave because there's a whole politics of why did you leave. Yeah, so yeah.
So I feel that about, and I don't know if it's because maybe I'm in many more groups now, but 10 years ago, perhaps even 5 years ago, I loved WhatsApp groups. I thrived on the information and the discussions. And now I look at some groups and there are 83 unread messages and there's 123 new message, and I can't. X is the other one for me, to the degree that one of the ways in which I've learned to now navigate X is to have an anonymous account where I can engage with what people are saying and discussing without the need to be me. Does that make sense? And that's not, it's not to say that I'm toxic or I'm mean or I'm a bully or any of those sorts of things, but I'm just finding it a lot easier to navigate the app because there is a wealth of information for somebody who does what I do for a living. But the toxicity and the levels of the discussions sometimes, the personal nature of the attacks make it a little difficult. All right, send us a WhatsApp voice note on 0727021702. What is that social media app you have a love-hate relationship with? You need it, but you wish you didn't.
Bungle 702 ladies, good morning. Happy Monday. I'm with Amu on this one. I'm not even on TikTok myself, but the way I see people behave on that TikTok thing, yes, elderly people doing some stuff and those videos be circulating to even us who do not have TikTok. It's just something I'm not on it. I will not even have it. I'm happy with not having it. That's it. Thanks, guys, for a great show, Shadi Kempton Park.
Sometimes, of course, it's just that you're completely addicted. That could be the other reason. It's not that there's anything bad. In fact, it's just too good. And I think if anything, TikTok, Shadi, one of the things you must be grateful you have not yet experienced is how good that algorithm is and how well it figures out what you like, what you are into, and it just floods you with the things you want to see. So it really does hit that addictive nerve.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
All right, I don't know if you noticed around your neighborhood, the voting stations operating across the country over the weekend, more than 20,000 were in operation, giving people a last chance to register physically. You obviously still have options to check online to see whether you are registered or not if you are not able to. And I'd love to know from people who did register, was it seamless? Did you go to your local registration station? Are you still going to vote where you last voted? Has anything changed? How seamless was the experience? I'd love to know from those people who actually went out to go and register. And now that the physical part of it is over, what are your thoughts around voting? Are you actively engaging with those around you socially, even in your professional network, to make sure as many as possible show up in November to make their X? I'm not campaigning for any party, obviously, but I do think it's important for people to vote. Are you doing so? Are you starting that conversation? Because there's not one we should start, mid-October, right? It can't be a conversation we begin mid-October. It's got to be a conversation we're having with our nearest and dearest right now as we get people to understand, yeah, you may have to stand in a queue for, some minutes, maybe even some hours, but you have to make your X count. Are you having that conversation?
702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa is brought to you by BCX. Built on trusted telecom business connectivity. Powered by cloud, strengthened by security, enabled by AI.
Uteo Kharipa, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, I want to know this morning, are you easily influenced by trends, by your social circle, or things that you see on social media? So are you influenced by somebody using a new face product and you're like, I really want to try that? Or someone in your circle saying they really love a brand of car or whatever electronic they started using and you're like, oh, I can have that?
Ooh, no, not quite that. But what I am fascinated by at the moment, talking to Amo's point about TikTok and Instagram, I've been following all these DIY videos where people are making pots, for example, pot plant pots using cement and molds and hands and gloves and things. Those are the things. I've been just watching these things and thinking, I'm going to implement this, I'm going to implement this, I'm going to implement that. So that's where I am. All the things to do with DIY and even to do with skincare, but using natural products. Where they say, so I've started chewing raw ginger and blueberries every night and, and having a garlic as well because it's good. It's anti-inflammatory, antioxidants, all of those sort of things.
Okay,
so am I easily influenced?
Us as well.
He is indeed, and he's winning with me, particularly on the raw products for skin,
for health,
for health reasons. Yeah, that's also one of the things that I like. If it's like raw products that you can follow to enhance your health or clean up your system. Yeah, those are my favorites as well.
But I also think there's an information overload because every other video is somebody telling you a step-by-step process.
So we lie to ourselves because we're not buying things because of social media. We're just doing things.
We're just doing them.
702
Weather.
Curious what prompts that question. 20 after 6, a fine day in store for Gauteng. Temperatures in Joburg 3 to 18, Pretoria 6 and 21, Vereeniging 0, peaking at 20 degrees. Cape Town partly cloudy, a high of 25, Mahikeng it's 22, 23 in Gqeberha, Kukombo City or East London, 22 degrees, Durban 23.
EWN traffic.
Let's have a first look at the roads, Amo.
Well, Bongani, we've got delays on the N1 North in the Roodepoort area. An accident reported right after 14th Avenue. It's causing delays. Please approach with care or try to avoid this one. There's also still moving traffic on the N3 North between the Airlines Interchange and Van Buren Road. That's due to roadworks there while heading towards Bedford View. Peak time delays on the N12 West between Edenville Road and the Gululis Interchange. More updates coming up, but if you come across anything else, we're on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Morning Bongs, morning T, morning Lendas, Semi T, Semi Tepanyecha, Bongs. My weekend was lovely. It was my wife's birthday, the first, and then my team, that big team called Kaizer Chiefs, made me proud as the first game. So, yeah, no, I was happy. Bongs, I was so happy. It was a lovely weekend, but especially peace, love and peace. The big team won. Hallelujah.
Hi, good morning, Bongani and the team. Yeah, no, I do agree. Let's give them the flowers, Orlando Pirates, for selling out the jersey. Just because it's not something they are new to. Tina Makosi. That happens every season, like Siyathuka ukuthi nijabulela abanye nje for the very first time. But it's good. It's really a good spirit. And shout out to the fans that bought the jersey as well.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. I hope you are having a wonderful day, but I'm not fine. Can you please pass a message to the management of 702 Prime Media? Can they employ me as a Kaizer Chiefs supporter? I just want to balance the scales in that studio. It is really unbalanced. It's unprofessional. I can see the way you are looking at each other. No. Have a nice day, guys. I'm in Pretoria.
I love it because all three of those voice notes are Kaizer Chiefs supporters. I was actually at my local filling station yesterday. I can't remember what I was getting. And there was a guy there wearing a Chiefs shirt. It was early in the morning. In fact, I don't even think the dude had showered. But he was hunting on about how, this year we are taking it. This is the team. And the teller, who's obviously a Pirates fan, looks at me and says, you know what? We're not going to say anything. Ne? Let's just leave him be. It's going to be a long season. We'll catch up with him when the time comes.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
23 after 6 o'clock, things you need to know at this hour. Right, so the Western Cape High Court is expected to hear an application today challenging key provisions of the Expropriation Act. AfriForum, the Democratic Alliance, and the Institute of Race Relations are seeking to have sections of the Act declared unconstitutional. The respondents in the matter include President Cyril Ramaphosa, the Minister of Public Works, the National Assembly, the Speaker of the National Assembly, and the Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces. And of course, one of the awkward things is that the minister who has to defend this, being the Minister of Public Works, being who? One? Dean McPherson, who is from which party? The DA, which is doing what? Which is, of course, challenging the act, the very piece of legislation its minister must now implement and defend. We'll see how the Western Cape High Court rules on that one. In the meantime, in the Eastern Cape, the Judge President there, Selby Mbenenge, has secured a major legal lifeline after the Pretoria High Court hit the brakes on his impeachment, giving him another chance to fight for his future on the bench. The court has granted an interdict preventing Parliament from proceeding with the impeachment process, whilst Mbenenge challenges the Judicial Service Commission's finding. You remember in April, the JSC found Mbenenge guilty of gross misconduct over sexual harassment allegations made by his secretary, Andiswa Mengo. The commission overturned an earlier ruling by the Judicial Conduct Tribunal, which had cleared him of gross misconduct and instead had found him guilty of a lesser degree of misconduct. However, now the Pretoria High Court says Parliament must put those proceedings on hold until Mbanenga's application to review the JSC's decision has been heard. Spare a thought, of course, for his accuser, who must now go through yet another process to try and get what she will feel is justice. How do you watch your sport? We're talking about Kaizer Chiefs and how full the stadia was. How do you watch your sport, Mateo?
DSTV, mostly if I'm not at the stadium.
Amu?
DSTV also.
Well, if you're one of those people who relies solely on the public broadcaster, you would have noticed, of course, that the opening matches of the Premier League for this season were not broadcast on SABC. This is after the SABC failed to secure the rights to air the games as licensing negotiations with MultiChoice and Canal Plus continue. The SABC and MultiChoice have clashed repeatedly over the cost of sports broadcasting rights. Should we make this simply, legislatively something that just has to be done? Or do you think, again, this is a privilege, not a right? There you are, minding your own business, your phone buzzes, and a verification code appears on your screen. But you didn't request it. You think to yourself, that's a bit odd. Pay no mind. Seconds later, you try to get back on your WhatsApp and you logged out. You're no longer on your WhatsApp. It's not because you don't have signal or a bad network that day. It's because there is a scam that's doing the rounds, and now people are being warned as reports of this suddenly growing, your cell phone network suddenly losing service. You receive an unexpected request with a verification code. Somebody has hacked your WhatsApp. You are locked out. Somebody else is using your number and starts reaching out to your contacts, asking them for all sorts, for money, for loans, for this or the other. And you were just sitting there, and all they had was your number and your name. And obviously part of how they're able to scam these people is they have some idea of your connection to them. But how worrying, how chilling is that? That's why we were asking the question, which social media app do you have a love-hate relationship with? Imagine now, of all the things we worry about, having to be scared about who has your number. It's also the 87th birthday of actor Martin Sheen. You'll know him, of course, from The West Wing, Grace and Frankie, and some of his best roles in movies like The Departed and The Apocalypse Now.
702.
The newspapers.
Sfisa Zulu, how frightening is that?
It's crazy.
It's a story on page 4 of the Sowetan, I think it is. The front page of the Sowetan saying, WhatsApp with your account hack. It's a scam alert, they say. And essentially, you are sitting there, as I say, you get a verification code request for something you didn't ask. And seconds later, you've lost control of your WhatsApp. And who knows what people can do. You can read all about it in the Sowetan this morning. What have you got?
Sad story out of Indonesia, Bongani. At least 5 people are dead and 41 are missing after a ferry carrying 270 people caught fire off the island of Java. At least 225 people have been rescued so far. So such disasters remain common across Indonesian islands, right? And while investigations in this particular incident are ongoing, there have been similar ones previously that have been caused by overcrowding, aging vessels, and poor safety inspections.
Oh, that's a worry. That's a real worry.
EWN.
How easily influenced by trends, your social circle, or even things you see on social media? Mutewa wants to know. What prompts the question?
Bongani, Asian car brands may be changing the landscape of the South African car market, but the Automobile Association of South Africa says there's still strong loyalty to legacy brands in the country because of dealer networks and the availability of parts. Now, according to the Automotive Business Council, traditional brands like Toyota, Volkswagen, and Ford sold the largest number of new vehicles in June. The disruptive Asian brands GWM, Chery, Chateau, and Mahindra remained in the top 10 of new car sales. According to News 24, the market has seen a dramatic change in the preferences of local consumers. A Standard Bank reporting a more than 400% increase in financed deals for Chinese brands. The lender, though, says Toyota and VW still lead sales for motorists 35 and younger. NAMSA says 38,393 units were sold in June, marking an 18% year-on-year increase. The top-selling passenger models were led by a Volkswagen Polo Vivo, the Chery Tiggo 4 Pro, and the Hyundai Grand i10. The top-performing manufacturers brands for June 2026 were Toyota, Suzuki, Volkswagen Group, Hyundai, GWM, and Chery. So there's still a bit of a tug of war between the traditional brands and Chinese brands.
Vroom vroom. How fast is the rand this morning?
The rand in a good position this morning, in the green against the US dollar at 16 rand 47, up 0.5% this morning. 18 rand 99 against the euro, and 22 rand 19 cents against the British pound. Price of gold is up 0.5% at $4,065 an ounce, or platinum is at $1,647. Brent crude down 7.5% this morning at $83 a barrel. More business after 7.
Time now for your latest Eyewitness News. It's Fisa Zulu. Let's look at Fadil Adams. He's been a name in the news of late.
That's right, Bongani. He says that he's confident his National Coloured Congress Party can challenge the DA's dominance in Cape Town and push the city towards a coalition government. Adams made the comments during the final day of in-person voter registration yesterday. Speaking in Mitchell's Plain, where the party has a strong backing, Adams says their focus is on service delivery rather than social media campaigning.
Our work speaks for it. Our voters are people that we serviced. Children we forced into schools, people we put into jobs, water we've reconnected, indigent grants that we've gotten for people. That is what we're about.
The Serious Violent Crime Unit is investigating 4 counts of murder after men were shot dead in Nyanga in Cape Town. Police say the victims had stopped on a old Kliptane Road shortly before 10 p.m. on Saturday to repair a flat tire when they were approached by unknown gunmen who opened fire. Police spokesperson Andre Trout says no arrests have been made.
4 adult men lost their lives after they were attacked while repairing a flat tire on their vehicle in Old Klipfontein Road. Serious violent crime detectives are pursuing all available leads, with the motive believed to be taxi-related at this stage.
Meanwhile, Western Cape Police Oversight and Community Safety MEC Andra Murray has condemned the killings and called on police to track down those responsible.
I condemn the shooting incident in Nyanga, which resulted in the death of 4 people. The endless flow of illegal firearms into our communities remains one of the greatest drivers of murder and violence in the Western Cape.
And the Sudanese army has struck a court in Western Darfur with drones, killing 35 people and wounding others. Rights group The Emergency Lawyers, which has documented abuses by both the army and its rival paramilitary throughout the 3-year conflict, says the strike hit civilians gathered to attend hearings on local cases and disputes. The court session was being held under a tree with the participation of local community leaders of the Gara al-Zawaya. The village is under the control of paramilitary rapid support forces, which have been locked in a brutal conflict with the army since April 2023. Among those killed are 4 tribal leaders and 2 RSF commanders. There have been no immediate responses from the army. The RSF self-declared government has condemned the attack as a horrific crime. A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 0 and 3 degrees, peaking at highs between 18 and 21 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 North. This is between the Elands interchange and the Van Buren Road exit. While traveling on the N1 North, please be on the lookout for delays between the N17 and 14th Avenue. That's due to an accident.
The top story this hour, National Coloured Congress leader Fadil Adams says he's confident his party can challenge the DA's dominance in Cape Town and push the city towards a coalition government.
Hey guys, this is Robert Marawa, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Playing responsibly is part of the winning strategy. Make smart choices and continue to score. If you or someone that you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Success doesn't wait. It doesn't copy. It doesn't ask permission. It moves. Powered by 125 kilowatts of turbocharged performance, 270 Newton meters of torque, and a 7-speed DCT transmission. Designed with electrically adjustable front seats, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and an 8-speaker Sony sound system. The new Jetour Dashing. Success looks different from 429,900. Get behind the wheel today.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
President Cyril Ramaphosa in Mpumalanga to see the first 25 wind turbines that are part of that massive renewable energy project run by Seriti Green.
There is plenty of grid capability, 6 gigawatts more or less. This project, when finished, will be 127 turbines, 900 megawatts. And across the road, we're building a further 60. So we'll take it up to 1,500 megawatts over the next 36 months.
Peter Venn is the CEO at Seriti Green.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes is brought to you by Absa Corporate and Investment Banking. Africa's energy future takes more than ambition. It takes turning plans into projects, opportunity into investment, intent into execution. At Absa Corporate and Investment Banking, we help connect the capital, expertise, and opportunity needed to bring sustainable projects to life across Africa. That's how we're invested in Africa's energy future.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? It's brought to you by Outsurance. Up to 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. So what you do is you send us an answer based on anything that piqued your interest during the show. For that, we'll give you 1,000 Rand. You WhatsApp us your name and that answer to 072 702 1702. Later, someone else will ask a question to get to your answer, and for their troubles, they win 2,000 Rand. Now, remember, you always stand a better chance of being selected to give us today's answer if you've SMS'd out to Outsurance and got yourself a quote. So do it now, SMS out to 45142, and you could save on your car insurance.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. For me, the social media that I have love and hate with has to be Instagram. I think it's a platform that is used for me is to look down on others, is to brag, but also is to put pressure on yourselves because of I've seen so many people actually bragging about things they don't have. Just for them to have more likes. So I think it's Instagram, which is used for wrong purposes. But I think if it's used for the right purposes, it's a good platform. Joseph Rosley.
Good morning, Bongani. Bongani, please don't put me in a WhatsApp group. I'm so anti-WhatsApp group. And TikTok, I'm not into TikTok that much, though I have an account and I do post sometimes. Smokey the Don from Bushel Park. Happy my day. Thank you.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. Oh, it has to be TikTok. I don't even have TikTok, but I hate what people who have TikTok do. Like, they are so inconsiderate. You know, they don't like using earphones. So, And again, I hate that teachers are always taking our children video in class. Like, why are you taking our kids in class without our consent? Why? Nah, TikTok must go. Judith in Pretoria.
Judith in Pretoria. That is annoying. That is annoying where somebody will just randomly get on their phone without putting on their earphones and starts scrolling and watching reels and videos, and you must hear whatever it is that they are listening to or watching. I think there's got to be some etiquette around these things. We're asking a very simple question. With which social media app do you have a love-hate relationship? Either because of work or family, you need it, you can't do without it because that's how you communicate with everybody. But oh my gosh, if they add you to one more group without your consent, without asking, you will just lose it. Or, in fact, the algorithm is so good, you find yourself spending too much time on the app. So it's really a love-hate relationship. Tell us why.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta?
Yes.
Is there an app that you have a love-hate relationship with, or a social media platform?
Well, it'll have to be X, which was formerly known as Twitter. I really don't like that app, but the only plus side to it is a way of celebrating in real time, like, oh, Commonwealth Games, la la la, or oh, the women are amazing, because it doesn't really have the same feel on an Instagram story or a TikTok video. No one really cares, right? So that's the only reason. But every time I tweet something, everybody on that app, you guys are so toxic.
Yeah,
it's such a horrible social media platform.
So I love it for the information and sort of the rabbit hole it can take you, down. Not just because it's videos, but it's books, it's articles. So it's stuff you can actually read and spend time thinking about versus, somebody telling you via a recorded video what it may be. So I have a fake account.
Oh, good.
I have a fake account because then I can engage with things honestly. And it's not just so that I'm mean or say anything I wouldn't say as myself, but nobody knows it's me, and so we just get on with it.
So exactly to your point, my Twitter bio literally says where people follow you to read your opinion and then criticize you for having one. Literally, that's my bio. I'm like...
All right, send us a WhatsApp voice note, 072-702-1702. With which social media platform do you have a love-hate relationship? In the meantime, Cindy, shall we do... Post-mortem sounds too morbid, but should we do a review of the Commonwealth Games? Yeah.
So the Commonwealth Games closed last night in South Africa. Team South Africa finishing with a total of 28 medals, one more than in Birmingham 4 years ago. They'll be coming home with 7 gold medals. They were 11th on the overall table. Betway Premiership action yesterday. Polokwane City beating Richards Bay 2-1, while Siwelele and TS Galaxy drew 2-2. It's Kaizer Chiefs who tops the table after the weekend, ahead of Orlando Pirates. At WAFCON, Cape Verde, the first side to be knocked out after they lost to Mali 3-2. In the night's other game, Cameroon beat Ghana 1-0. They're through to the quarterfinals. The top 4 sides from WAFCON will qualify for next year's World Cup. Banyana next plays Burkina Faso tomorrow night. Defender Bonge Kengomere.
I think everyone who's here wants to go to the World Cup, wants to go to the quarterfinals, wants to get another chance, to improve, to play, and also so that the nation can be proud of ourselves. I think that's one thing that kept us going.
In Currie Cup rugby yesterday, Pumas beat Boland Cavaliers 2015. The Lions are top of the table after their 23-point win over the Bulls on Saturday. And in cricket stumps on day 1 of the second test, the West Indies elected to bat 239 for 5 against Pakistan. Greaves is there on 64. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Hi everyone, my name is Yusuf Adam. I am 11 years old and I am in grade 5 at Twane Muslim School. I love listening to the Whiz Quiz on my way to school in the mornings, and I am excited. And I'm so excited to have a chance to play with Uncle Bongani.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
17 to 7, this EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. And there are delays on the N1 North. What's going on?
That's correct, Bongani. In the Roodepoort area, that's due to an accident right after 14th Avenue, causing these massive queues coming out of the N17. While traveling on the Marquard North, we also have got peak time delays reported between Boysons Road and Carr Street. Heading towards Bedford View, do expect delays along the N3 North between the Elands Interchange and Van Buren Road. That's due to long-term roadworks along this route. Do expect about a 20-minute hold-up, and then, of course, heading towards Bedford View via the R24 as well as the N12 West, queuing traffic coming out of Edenville Road towards the Gilulis Interchange. More traffic updates coming up. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. Clever excuses for being late. Number 91. The lift looks suspicious, so I had to take the stairs all the way up. Fortunately, with the OutSurance pointsman on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The OutSurance pointsmen have been easing traffic congestion so we all get to where we need to be quickly and safely for the past 20 years. With OutSurance, you really always get something out. In partnership with 702, OutSurance is a licensed insurer in the FSP.
Uncertainty is rising, but your business still has to deliver. Production targets need to be met. And when your workforce is out of balance, the cost is immediate. Too many employees? Costs climb. Too few? Productivity drops. Workforce staffing helps businesses stay in control with flexible workforce solutions deployed within 48 hours nationwide. When demand changes, your workforce can change with it. Visit workforcestaffing.co.za. Stay productive, stay flexible, stay in control.
So the other day I get this call from an insurance company. The lady asked me if I'm comfortable with my excess. I said, excess? Well, according to my therapist, I'm apparently a little too comfortable. But sometimes you just need to make sure. You know what I mean? She just put down the phone. I don't get it.
Don't get that insurance. Get Pineapple. It's easy to get and online. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP. T's and C's apply.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
We've been asking you, of course, about this last weekend's voter registration drive. It's the last opportunity, it was the last opportunity for you to go to a physical voting station. Over 20,000 in operation over the weekend. And one of the things we saw over the weekend was the president of the Republic, also the president of the ANC, campaigning for his party. In fact, a number of parties out on the campaign trail. And it's always amazing to me to watch. As much as the ANC, the party, is criticized by South Africans for all the obvious reasons, there seems to be this enormous affection for the person of the president. And that was one of the things I certainly noted. One of the places he went to was Malahleni in Mpumalanga yesterday, and responding to questions about South Africans who are feeling a little discouraged from voting, here is what President Cyril Ramaphosa had to say.
Well, what I would say to a person who has been discouraged in the past because of failures of service delivery, I would say they should look at the new developments. The developments on infrastructure are ticking up. There's a great improvement. We said at the beginning of the year that we are deploying 1 trillion rand, and we're beginning to see that money now beginning to flow. 2 weeks ago, I went to launch a water project, and 67 such water projects were being launched throughout the country to deliver more water to our people. Major and mega water projects are now underway in various parts of the country. And it's not only limited to metropolitan areas, it's also going through rural areas where there was no water. The water is beginning to flow. Even in villages, water is beginning to be delivered on the sidewalks of where people live, and in time, water in the rural areas will be delivered in their homes. And in the urban areas, we're solving the problems of reservoirs and reticulation. So there's a lot of activity that is taking place.
The president there talking about reasons for you to vote. Did you register this past weekend? Do you have a reason to vote? What's your reason? Come November 2026, what will you be voting for?
Hi, good morning, Bongani and the team. Sam here from Joburg. Yes, I did the online registration. It was easy and simple, although I'm not even sure who to vote for. These political parties are so confusing, but I did really manage to register. Thanks, Sam from Joburg.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Come on, let's give away some cash. Every day, of course, we play the Whiz Quiz. We are looking for kids aged 10 to 13. And of course, you go to Prime Media Plus to register, and we could be calling you. And by the way, we now have an additional maths question, and it's proudly brought to you by Simi, which of course is Shaya Izibalo Maths Institute. And if you're a teacher or a principal or anyone looking for extra support for maths, I'm using this myself, by the way, for my grade 11 learner, Get in touch with Shaya Izibalo Maths Institute. Go to www.simi.education for contact details and to explore all the free resources available to South African maths learners and teachers. You can also get this on Prime Media Plus if you've got the app. All right, today we're playing with 11-year-old Yusuf, who I'm told wants to be an accountant, and Yusuf goes to the Tshwane Muslim school. Yusuf, why do you want to be an accountant?
I like numbers.
You like numbers? All right, we've got an extra maths question for you, so good luck. You think you'll get it right, eh?
I hope so.
At least that one, hey? KG, start the clock. So what do bees collect from flowers? Is it honey or is it nectar?
Nectar.
Correct. Complete the name of the movie series Diary of a Wimpy what?
Kid.
Correct. In maths, true or false, 0 is an even number.
True.
Correct. Which chess piece must always be protected from checkmate?
The king.
Correct. Which organs help you breathe?
The lungs.
Correct. True or false, butterflies and moths develop from caterpillars?
True.
Correct. What do we use to look at the stars in the sky? A telescope? Correct. What is South Africa's national animal?
Springbok.
Correct. In which country will you find the ancient pyramids?
Egypt.
Correct. Spell the word general.
General.
Oh, Yusuf. General. Yusuf. Oh, my goodness. It's just that question, general, that tripped you at the end. Oh, man. Oh, how are you feeling?
A little bit upset about that.
900 Rand, though, is a really, really good score. You did really, really well, my friend. It was just that last question that pipped you, but not to despair, 900 Rand is still a worthy prize. Well done and well played. If you're age 10 to 13, go to Prime Media Plus. Tell us why you want to play, and we could be calling you.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiskers
on 702.
This is 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa. Brought to you by BCX. Built on trusted connectivity. Powered by cloud. Strengthened by security. Enabled by AI.
All right, it is 8 minutes to 7. Let's do this now. It's called the Ultimate Human Race, right? The ultimate endurance race for sure. For more than a century, that's what we've known the Comrades Marathon to be. But today, perhaps some of the biggest challenges are not on the road, but in the boardroom. After months of disagreements with Athletics South Africa and KwaZulu-Natal Athletics, Comrades Marathon Association members have voted for the race to operate independently. So what does that mean for one of South Africa's biggest sporting events? Will runners notice any difference? What happens to race sanctioning and athlete licenses? Or is this just a new era for the Comrades? Mark Leathers is the chairperson of the Comrades Marathon Association and joins us now. Mark, a very good morning to you and welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Good morning, Bongani.
All right. I mean, I've tried to outline it as best as I could in my introduction, but perhaps can I ask you to give us a little bit of background around this issue? How did we get here?
Well, this has been a long time coming, and a lot of people don't realize quite long that road has been. A lot of the issues that gave rise to this have started some 25, 30 years ago. And without delving into those particular issues, the members of the CMA on Saturday decided that where the federations and where these issues clash with the CMA ethos or with what is best for the race, that the board of the CMA is to put the race and the CMA first.
Well, I mean, we can talk about what some of those might be in a minute, but what does it actually mean in the first instance to be a part of these associations? What does belonging to Athletics South Africa and KwaZulu-Natal Athletics give the Comrades?
Well, that's going to depend on who you ask. If you ask the federations, they're going to give you a very different answer to that at those of us at the CMA. What it does is it gives sanctioning. What that means is the topic of hotly contested debate. The federations say that that helps with organizing. The federations say that that helps with record recognition. On our side, that couldn't be further from the truth. The CMA has for many, many, many years organized the event completely on our own without the assistance of the federations. And as the Comrades Marathon has never been a standard distance race, it changes slightly every year due to the routes and roadworks. The CMA has been its own official record keeper since inception, bearing in mind that the CMA is older than any of the athletics federations as well.
Does your membership then require some kind of subscription fee, some kind of sharing of the revenue that goes into the Comrades Marathon?
At the moment, our membership is very, very accessible. It's open to anyone who falls into two categories. You have to either have run the Comrades Marathon or volunteered at the Comrades Marathon. Membership on our end at this stage is only 100 Rand per member, which doesn't even cover the cost of the member's T-shirt, for an example, that they get.
No,
so
Mark,
there's,
Mark, if I
there's
can
no
come
cost.
in, I think we misunderstood each other there. What
Yes.
I mean is, does membership of these associations as Comrades Marathon, I mean, what do they get out of it? Do you have to give them some of your revenue?
Okay.
Is that how
Yes.
it works?
Sorry, I misunderstood your question. Yes, unequivocally. Well, the revenue gets split essentially in two ways as regards the federations. Three, to be correct. One, when they supply technical officials, we get billed extra for those technical officials. It doesn't come as part of our membership or any of the other payments. Historically as well, KwaZulu-Natal Athletics has taken 10% of the total entry fee as a levy. And the question amongst a lot of CMA members' minds was, what were we getting for that 10%? And with the race being on the Athletics South Africa calendar, Athletics South Africa had the ownership of the broadcast rights. So the 10% entry levy, for example, for 2026 was 3.1 million Rand claimed by KZN Athletics. And the broadcast rights to ASA are worth anywhere upwards of 5 million Rand a year. Money that our members feel could be far better spent going directly into social development and athletics development causes.
Might these associations then not argue that that's exactly what this might be about? From their point of view, you want all the money and you want to leave them in the cold.
That's definitely an argument that has been made. And the difference is that the Comrades Marathon Association is a registered non-profit and operates in theory on a zero budget. So the direct aim with this from our members' side is that they want to see the same, if not more, invested and evidenced to be invested directly into sports development and social development and, charity causes. So from the executive side, we're expecting our members to hold us to account. And if that is done exactly as what our members require, the answer will be that the Comrades Marathon has profited nothing from this. Because the same amount, if not more, is being spent. The only difference is there's actually a recognizable trail of where it's gone to instead of just disappearing into federation coffers.
So what will it mean then if the Comrades is no longer a sanctioned event? What will it mean for the runners, for qualification? What will it mean in terms of the greater ecosystem of the number of races runners run every year?
Look, runners will keep running, and that is rightly so. You can't come to the Comrades start line not having run many races. And through the year, if you look at the average runner, they don't just run 1 or 2 marathons, they run half marathons, a couple of marathons, etc. That will continue. There's no reason to suspect that any of that part of the ecosystem will change. And those events being standard distances are far more likely to need to stay accredited and sanctioned because elite athletes want their points recognized and their performances recognized, internationally for those events. From Comrades' side, we will still require qualifiers, as the qualifier is simply evidence of your physical ability to complete the race.
But if
And
Comrades itself is not sanctioned, will those records stand? Will they be recognized by anyone else?
As I mentioned at the outset, those records have always been recognized not as a result of sanctioning, but as a result of the records and the quality control in place behind those records. Remember, Comrades was run and had records long before the existence of, for an example, KwaZulu-Natal Athletics.
So, Mark, you're saying, hang on, there's a system that is used internationally around accreditation. It's not simply because Athletics South Africa says you're okay. You have to be able to say, you know, these are the criteria that we are saying these people did or achieved such and such. And you've done that yourselves all along.
100%. You know, yes, technical officials have come through the federation, but that is definitely not the only place to source your accredited and qualified technical officials. Doping has been done by the South African Institute Against Doping in Sport, but again, for a number of years, they haven't had their own lab in South Africa. They send samples off to Qatar and Belgium. So there's similarly nothing stopping taking of the samples under evidenced and, controlled exactly circumstances as SAIDS does, and sending them to the exact same laboratories internationally for testing. So there's absolutely no reason to believe that the standard, quality, or anything else is going to drop. On the contrary, it can actually improve because now we can go and source the best and brightest instead of needing to utilize those allocated by a federation.
All right, we're looking ahead to next year, of course, being the centenary race, and success to you and all the organizers. Mark Leathers is the chairperson of the Comrades Marathon Association.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
How much should representation be a factor in who leads our public institutions? If everyone at the top comes from the same network, professionally, region, even community, do we not increase the risk of groupthink, patronage, or weakened accountability? Or have we got to be careful to avoid making assumptions about people's backgrounds? Up next, a cerebral conversation with Professor Somadoda Fikeni.
This is EWN.
If you missed voter registration weekend, you still have a chance to register, and the number of deaths is revealed after thousands crossed from Morocco to Spain. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The Electoral Commission says online registration will remain open until the Cooperative Governance Minister officially proclaims the date for the local government elections. More than 20,000 voting stations were opened across the country over the weekend for eligible South Africans to register to vote or update their details. The IEC says the only issue reported over the weekend was a glitch affecting its data-free online registration service. IEC CEO Simon Mabolo says once the election date is proclaimed by the minister, the voters' roll will then be closed.
There's still a crucial window of opportunity for those who have not yet registered or those who need to update their registration details. We urge all eligible citizens to ensure that they are correctly registered and assigned to the right voting district within the ward.
In the capital, cracks are beginning to emerge in the coalition governing the city of Tshwane, with the ANC, Action SA and EFF increasingly at odds ahead of the local government elections. After nearly 2 years of relative stability, the coalition is now marked by public disagreements, social media exchanges and divisions over key council votes. Thabiso Goba takes a look.
The first signs of strain emerged during a council vote on whether to suspend Tshwane City Manager Johan Medler. The ANC and EFF backed the suspension, while Action SA voted against it. At the time, the coalition partners insisted they did not have to agree on every issue. However, tensions have since escalated, with the ANC in Tshwane accusing Action SA Mayor Nasipi Moya of being anti-black and anti-poor. The dispute has also spilled into the public arena, with senior ANC leader in Tshwane Tlangi Mogale and Action SA President Herman Moshaba exchanging criticism over the issue on the city manager. Thabiso Goba, Eyewitness News.
The Western Cape High Court will today hear arguments for and against the Expropriation Act. The case centres on the constitutionality of the legislation and whether the state can, under certain circumstances, acquire property without paying compensation. Afrikaans lobby group AfriForum argues the act threatens private property rights, while the EFF and other supporters say it's necessary to advance land reform and address historical injustices. Carlo Peterson has more.
At the heart of the dispute is whether the Expropriation Act strikes the correct balance between protecting private property and enabling meaningful land reform. The EFF, which joined legal proceedings as an intervening party, says it will continue to support expropriation without compensation. AfriForum, meanwhile, maintains the legislation opens the door to excessive state control over private land. With land reform remaining one of South Africa's most contested issues, the case is expected to draw significant public interest. The outcome could influence future land policy debates well beyond the courtroom. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And Morocco's Interior Ministry has issued its first toll for those who died trying to reach Spain's North African enclave of Ceuta, saying 11 people have died. The figures are significantly lower than those issued by Spain, which said that at least 72 people had died. Tens of thousands would-be migrants crossed into the territory between last Wednesday and Friday, sparking a diplomatic fight within the European Union as some member states criticized Spain's migration policies. Rashid Al-Khalifi, a spokesperson for Morocco's Interior Ministry, said that 11 of those who died and 10 had drowned, while an 11th person fell from a rocky area. Morocco says it is working with Spain to check the toll figures and to identify bodies found on Spanish territory. There had been 40,000 attempts to cross into Ceuta illegally. Gold is trading at $4,070.23 an ounce. The rand is at 16.47 to the dollar, 22.18 to the pound, 18.99 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $83.39 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North between N17 and 14th Avenue. That's due to a major accident. Please try to avoid that one. There's also queuing traffic along the Mike 1 North between Boyson's Road and the Killarney Bends. This is due to peak time delays while heading towards Melrose. Do expect delays on the M1 South between College Drive and Greyston Drive.
And in your sport, Team South Africa goes one better than Birmingham, returning home with 28 medals in total. In the Betway Premiership, Galaxy came from 2 down to hold Sewelele, while Polokwane beat Richards Bay 2-1. And at WAFCON, Cameroon first through to the quarterfinals. Cape Verde are the first to be knocked out.
A fine day in store for Gauteng, Johannesburg, starting at 3 degrees, peaking at 18. Pretoria, 6 and 21. Vereniging 0, peaking at 20 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, the Electoral Commission says online registration will remain open until the Cooperative Governance Minister officially proclaims the date for the local government elections.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're listening to 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa, brought to you by BCX, technology that helps organizations move forward.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 7 o'clock, it's all about the local government elections. And I think from here on, as we head towards November, momentum will, of course, start picking up some pace. And already you're seeing some of the pressures and the fissures, right? The cracks emerging in the Tshwane coalition, ANC, Action NSA, and EFF increasingly at odds with each other. This, of course, as in the Western Cape, there are going to be arguments for and against the Expropriation Act as some of the GNU partners go head-to-head against each other on that issue. Make sense of it how you will. Still a little bit of a window if you have not yet registered. The Electoral Commission saying online registration will remain open until, of course, the COCTA minister officially proclaims the date for the local government elections. But another 20,000 voting stations were opened throughout the weekend, giving people a chance to make sure they will be on the ballot box.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
In international news, of course, we continue to keep an eye on what's unfolding in the Persian Gulf. Will there be more escalation, or are things going to quieten down? The US President Donald Trump saying that there will be talks taking place with Iran as the efforts to end that conflict continue. And has he achieved any of the goals that he said he was seeking to at the start of all of this? Remember, he wanted regime change. That hasn't happened. He wanted to weaken the Islamic Republican Guard. That hasn't happened. And there's not much saying in terms of any nuclear enrichment program or even weapons program from Iran being destroyed by all of this. And the Strait of Hormuz, of course, remains firmly in the control of the Iranians.
Iran is doing very poorly. Just in case you read incorrect stories, they're doing very, very poorly. They're having a hard time. They've been very dishonest. They've been very dishonorable to deal with. We'll be in there talking about nuclear for 7 hours. I say, why do you need 7? You can take 10 minutes. You have 5 minutes. You should solve it. But 7 hours, and then they'll go out, and I'll say they discussed nuclear. And they'll go out and they'll say, we never discussed nuclear. And I say, why do they say that? All they do is make me angry. I'm losing faith in them because they do lie. We'll be hitting them. We'll be hitting them very hard. And at some point they're going to say, we just can't take it anymore.
Donald Trump talking about people lying. In other news, there was a bit of a social media furore. This, of course, after Banyana lost to Tanzania, and one of their defenders, Bongani Bingwa, has now had to apologize for comments she made on social media after that defeat in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. She faced criticism after an emotional, expletive-filled live session in which she responded to fans who were criticizing the team. She now says she regrets her remarks.
Hi, South Africa. I would love to apologize for remarks in like social media and and the emotions, but I apologize. Kumntu wonke ngaphathanga kakuhle bengasonhloso yami naleyo. Ngithanda apologize ku-team yami yonke. Ngithanda apologize na-association bengasonhloso yami. Ngicela uxolo South Africans. Please keep supporting Banyana.
She says there that she regrets her remarks. She apologizes to all South Africans and her teammates and SAFA. She says it wasn't her intention to offend anyone. SAFA, of course, had themselves apologized for what they'd called the players' unfortunate utterances, saying the matter would be handled internally. So Mbane is now asking South Africans to continue supporting Banyana at the tournament. Perhaps let's leave it on this positive note in some sense. The Springbok coach, Rassie Erasmus, was asked a really interesting question on the Rassie Plus podcast over the weekend. And it was, what is your greatest fear as the Springbok coach? And isn't this answer quite fascinating?
Well, one of my biggest fears is it's not of losing. I hate losing. Just every Saturday I want us to win. But it's that thing that we spoke about, that satisfaction of the not the joy, that lekker feeling when we're doing well and the people are all happy and we're all smiling and it's going all lekker. I know we're going to lose somewhere, and somewhere hopefully doesn't stop ever. But realistically somewhere, you must going to go through depths or coaching team changes or whatever. I'm so afraid of that feeling going away, of what it means for South Africans. And there's not a soppy things that say the right thing on a podcast. I'm talking about that feeling when you drive in, you stop at the petrol station and that guy comes and he high-fives you. And it's not sucking up, it's high-fiving. And I'm so nervous of that. Oh, yes, when that goes away, I think it would be like, I wouldn't know how to handle it if we go there. And it would be, that's my biggest fear. That's my night.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
13 after 7, things you need to know at this hour. Listen to this. A chilling breakthrough has emerged in an investigation into the death of a Scottish woman in Greece. Greek police say a 26-year-old man has admitted to transporting the body of 38-year-old Elizabeth Jane Lisa Ross in a suitcase before abandoning it inside a derelict building in Athens. Ross's body was discovered on the 18th of July, several days after she'd been reported missing. The investigation, which involved authorities from Greece, the United States, UK, Scotland, led police to arrest a suspect whom we are told is of Afghan origin. And according to police, Ross arrived in Greece on the 26th of June, staying until the 10th of July. She left for an unknown destination, and it was only after reviews of CCTV footage and extensive investigations that officers identified the suspect as being linked to her disappearance. They're now alleging that the man transported the body to the abandoned building inside a suitcase before later using her bank cards to withdraw money. That investigation remains ongoing. Jump or be pushed. Pressure is mounting on FIFA President Gianni Infantino as European countries now plan a mass withdrawal of letters supporting his re-election as FIFA president. You remember, of course, there's an election in March next year, and it comes after the collapse of that privately backed scheme to sell off chunks of the World Cup, which was largely scuppered when UEFA member associations threatened to boycott future FIFA competitions. So before last week's crisis unfolded, all of the UEFA members, 55 of them, apart from Germany, Romania, and Norway, had written letters to endorse Infantino's candidature next year, but now they are withdrawing those. I mean, that fourth term for the Swiss was viewed as a kind of fait accompli, but not quite anymore. And today would have been the 62nd birthday of the legendary South African reggae musician Lucky Dube, born on this day in 1964. How many hits? Prisoner, I've Got You Babe, The Way It Is.
Somebody told me about it when I was still a little boy. He said to me, crime does not pay. He said to me, education is the key. Yeah. As a little boy, I thought I knew what I was doing. Yeah, man. But today, here I am in jail. I'm a prisoner. I am a prisoner. I am a prisoner.
702. Up next,
The Big Interview.
EWN Traffic.
Prison. They won't build no schools anymore. Oh, man. Lucky Dube. This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Bongani, there's delays in Kayasend. This is along Malibongwe Drive due to a major accident seen near Witkoppen Road. It's causing about a 20-minute hold-up there. There's also queuing traffic along the N1 North between the N17 and 14th Avenue due to an accident we spoke about earlier. While traveling on the Maikwa North, peak time delays between the Boysons Road exit and the Kilani Bends. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. To save money, you keep items in your online cart until the price drops. So why not spend 10 minutes getting an Outsurance car insurance quote, like 50-year-old Lawrence, who saves
309 Rand. I accepted the quote. Didn't shop around. Didn't need to. Click, click, ring, ring.
That's a sweet 309 Rand saving on Lawrence's 2025 Volkswagen T-Cross. Do it now. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance saves 37-year-old Lerato a jaw-dropping 599 Rand on her 2026 Kia Sonet.
599. Very easy. Outsurance, they are the best.
Enjoy benefits like panic assistance that sends the nearest medical or armed response unit to you wherever you are. How much money could Outsurance save you? Get a quote now. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Licensed insured FSP. TCs and information online. Limits apply.
702. The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
Here's a conundrum. The Constitution says our public service must be professional, impartial, and broadly representative of the people it serves. But how do we balance that with merit, right? Diversity and merit. How does the composition of leadership affect public trust? I think one of the unintended issues that has arisen out of the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry is an important conversation that needs to be had that goes beyond the allegations against specific individuals. The inquiry, I think, has raised questions about the composition of leadership in public institutions, the concentration of senior officials either from the same community, region, or professional network. That surely leads to governance concerns. I mean, doesn't a lack of diversity necessarily increase the risk of groupthink, patronage, or even weakened accountability? So how do we ensure that appointments inspire public confidence and yet at the same time avoid unfair assumptions simply because of people's backgrounds? It's a real conundrum, I think, and one that needs to be talked about. The chairperson of the Public Service Commission is Professor Somato Dafikeng, who is, of course, an analyst and a governance expert who joins us now. Prof, always a pleasure to chat to you. I think this is certainly one of the things, not perhaps intended, but certainly that's emerged from the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. It's a big conversation.
It is indeed a big conversation, especially when you go back and remember that what divided South Africa and what was weaponized was identity. Therefore, whether it's racial, ethnic, religious, or just common networks, it is what was the source of division. And such divisions were literally codified in law in the past. That's the reason why even at its very preamble, our constitution talks about that South Africa that belongs to all, trying to bring in all those who were excluded. But then it goes on, united in diversity, and it talks of healing the divisions. But as you correctly said, even in the public administration values and principles, it's very specific in saying broadly representative South African people and so forth. What we have seen in the past, the moment people from the same ethnic, racial, or network start recruiting each other, you almost always have one, resentment, two, loyalty becomes more important than competence, and therefore you may end up having involved in corruption or being perceived as a secret society, which is actually not just South African phenomenon. If you remember the Lehman Brothers, if you remember many other global scandals, it's people who have always known each other, who finish each other's sentences, who cover each other up, and who also have life beyond work where they associate.
I mean, you talk about it being codified in the past, but there were even examples where it wasn't, but it was always understood to be the power, as it were, that pulled the strings from behind the scenes. I'll give you the example of the Broederbond in times gone by. But even in democracy, there was a period of the Xhosa Nostra, as you may well remember. And yet more recently, we've had questions being raised by even lawyers, for example, advocates, about who gets what briefs when it comes to the real business of representation in the legal fraternity. These are questions we continue to grapple with, aren't they?
They are. It's not only just the briefs in the legal fraternity. You'll remember that even the loans from the banks and many other institutions, the reason it's because we have quickly embraced what we call the Rainbow Nation as something that is already existing rather than something we should strive for. As a result, the very Rainbow Nation concept is weaponized against diversity itself, where people, whenever they raise issues of transformation and diversity, they are told, but is that not against Rainbow Nation? We are Rainbow Nation, when in fact people know that representation is not there. Whenever you have a concentration of certain group of people and they have the self-referrals, it is a reproduction of those old networks and could even lead to being a secret society in an environment of corruption. It can also be a fertile ground for corruption.
I said, though, in my introduction, how careful must we be to avoid making assumptions on what could, at least on the face of it, be a mere coincidence?
It cannot be a coincidence, especially when at times you have a young institution and you suddenly have the same networks. And not only that the locus of power, which is something we should be looking at. At times you'll ask for the profile and the demographic breakdown. They'll give you the cleaners and the security at the gate and so forth. Then you start saying, no, gender is fine, age is fine. But where is the locus of power? Who are the people who meet and influence certain things?
But if I may push back there, Prof, I mean, if you are starting a new institution, as you say, a young institution, and you are tasked with some serious business that you must achieve or deal with in a very short space of time, would you not rely on established networks, people you know, people you have worked with, people who are mutual associates and associations? Isn't that where you look first?
Actually, if you have broad enough networks, you would also ask them to look for other people who have been competent elsewhere, because this would be displaying the lack of diversity sensitivity IQ. Because once you do not have that as a leader, you are more likely going to be lazy and start looking around. There are so many talented, gifted South Africans in every other field. By now you have seen even other countries are actually attracting them in droves.
So how do we deal with this from an institutional point of view when it happens? Are there safeguards? Are there flags that could be raised as you start seeing a concentration of people who may be connected in other ways beyond their professional abilities?
The first one is to invoke the Constitution. The Constitution, when it says you must be broadly representative of South Africans, that ought to be used beyond just the equity that looks at race and gender and age. Precisely because this has always led up to the kind of collusion that you sometimes see. So, conversation amongst leaders. I have seen this when I chaired the boards or I was in management, where people start bringing in people from their ethnic group or from their groups. When you have an honest, robust conversation to say this is a national entity, we ought
Prof,
to be
again,
more diverse.
allow me to push back. How do you do it on a case-by-case basis? I understand that you can look at an organization and see patterns over time, but if I've got a list of candidates before me and the best one happens to be from a group that's already concentrated in the institution, do I disregard them for the way they look?
No, you do actually first raise the question of the declaration of interest. And say, anyone who has known this person, studied with the person, worked before, and so forth. So that right from the constitution of the panels, you begin to eliminate possibility of them influencing the process. And once you effect that, the results have always shown that the chances of diversity become greater. But if you begin to see that it's people from the same racial group, from the same tribe, from the same area that Fikeni comes from, then you should, as leaders, start saying, no, let's have diversity, because most of the time you always have the three most suitable candidates. The second one is always very close to the first one, and the third one close to the second one. They are all appointable.
Fascinating conversation. Appreciate your time. Professor Somatoda Fikeni, Chairperson of the Public Service Commission.
EWN Business.
All right, Mateo Kharipe here with Business News. Let's talk about the Financial Sector Conduct Authority. They're not playing any games, are they?
No, not at all, Bongani. The Financial Sector Conduct Authority imposing 2.8 billion rand in penalties on 76 individuals and businesses over the past year. This is a significant increase from the 119 million rand imposed in the previous reporting period. This was largely driven by the serious breaches of its acts, market abuse, and failures to comply with anti-money laundering requirements. The report highlights major enforcement cases, including the Bankso matter, which involved the use of deepfake advertising and the misappropriation of client funds. Now, Bankso sourced clients through fake and fraudulent social media ads, with prominent figures such as Johan Rupert, Patrice Motsepe, and Elon Musk supposedly promoting an automated AI trading platform that could generate monthly returns of more than 300,000 rand off a once-off investment of 4,700. The case resulted in penalties exceeding 2 billion rand and lengthy debarments of key individuals, including the Bankso directors, Harold Seckler and Warwick Snyder, who were also sanctioned. The regulator has been quite tough on regulation breaches since South Africa was listed on the grey list.
We were talking, of course, about the Gulf challenges. Where's the price of oil today?
Yeah, oil prices are falling this morning. There's a plan to have Iran and the US discuss a deal once more. That saw the US President Donald Trump saying he held off a strike on Iran yesterday to see if a deal can be reached between the two countries.
Should we just bring Katleho Mabwe? Deal or no deal?
Deal or no deal.
Maybe he should just lead
and
this
see
whole
if he
conversation.
can figure it out. But yeah, that's seen the oil price down close to 8% this morning and resulted in a market shakeup definitely for the upcoming day. The rand, though, holding its own this morning against the US dollar, 16 rand 47, up 0.5% against the US dollar, 18 rand 99 against the euro, and of course against the British pound, also at 21 rand. Then looking at the price of gold this morning, $4,058 an ounce, while platinum is at $1,657. Brent crude at $83 a barrel, down 7.8% this morning. More business after 8.
To the news desk we go now. Sfiso Zulu, it could be bye-bye tuberculosis.
Well, Bongani, good morning. The health department says a new vaccine could potentially help eliminate TB as a public health threat by 2030. The M72 vaccine is currently in phase 3 trials in 5 countries, including South Africa. Previous trial phases have shown promising results, with the vaccine providing protection against active pulmonary TB disease without evident safety concerns. National Health Department spokesperson Forster Mokhale says they have already put measures in place to ensure a speedy rollout once the vaccine is approved.
The Department of Health welcomes progress made towards a new TB vaccine and confirms preparatory work to ensure timely access for South Africans as part of ongoing efforts to eliminate this epidemic as a public health threat by the year 2030. A vaccine that prevents TB disease in adolescents and adults will be a game changer for TB control and elimination, both globally and here in South Africa.
National Coloured Congress leader Fadil Adams says his arrest in May on fraud in defeating the administration of justice charges was an attempt to intimidate him. Adams was released on 10,000 rand bail following his appearance in the Pinetown Magistrates Court. Quintin Jala takes a look.
Adams is expected to appear before the Madlanga Commission next Tuesday over a whistleblower complaint he lodged with IDAC calling for an investigation into alleged corruption within police crime intelligence. The complaint is based on classified crime intelligence documents, which Adams says were anonymously slipped under the door of his parliamentary office. Last week, the Commission indicated it may subpoena Parliament for photographs of Adams's office door to determine whether a 20-page bundle of classified documents could have been slipped underneath it. Adams says he is ready to account for his claims before the Commission and questions whether proper procedures were followed during his arrest.
There's something called the National Directive on Arrest, which says that arrest should be the last method of detaining, especially for a Schedule 1 accusation. Did those people follow the national directive? But I don't want to say too much. We've got the paperwork. We had to get the court to compel them to hand over the paperwork instead of them following through due process. We actually had to go to the Cape High Court to file an application for information they should have given to us.
Adams maintains that while many SAPS members serve with integrity, some senior officials are corrupt. Quintin Mgyala, Eyewitness News, Cape Town.
The Serious Violent Crime Unit is investigating 4 counts of murder after a shooting in Nyanga in Cape Town. Police say 4 men had stopped on the road on Saturday night to repair a flat tire when they were approached by unknown gunmen. No arrests have been made for the attack. Western Cape Police Oversight and Community Safety MEC Andrew Murray has condemned the killings and called on police to track down those responsible.
I condemn the shooting incident in Nyanga, which resulted in the death of 4 people. The endless flow of illegal firearms into our communities remains one of the greatest drivers of murder and violence in the Western Cape.
And Ukrainian attacks on Russia have killed at least 9 people, while Russian attacks on Ukraine killed at least 5 in the last 24 hours. The exchange of strikes comes amid signs both Moscow and Kyiv are increasing the scale and intensifying attacks on each other nearly 4.5 years into their grinding war. Civilian casualties in Ukraine have soared this year as Russia has ramped up its use of hard-to-intercept long-range missiles. Kyiv has meanwhile launched waves of retaliatory strikes on Russia, including on energy facilities and retail warehouses, in an effort to pressure Moscow into negotiations on ending its offensive. US-led talks on ending Europe's deadliest conflict since World War II have been effectively frozen since February, when the US and Israel launched joint strikes on Iran. Both Moscow and Kyiv have denied targeting civilians. A fine day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 18 and 21 degrees.
And in the traffic in Centurion, we've got heavy delays on the N14 East between the R55 and Brakfontein interchange. There's also queuing traffic along Lynchon Avenue. This is people trying to avoid the delays on the N14 East. So the delays on Lynchon Avenue are between Ramti Road and Old Johannesburg Road.
The top story this hour, the health department says a new vaccine could potentially help eliminate TB as a public health threat by 2030.
Times are tough, but your bank account shouldn't have to feel it. Get relief with some extra cash when you sell your gold and diamond jewelry, Krugerrands, gold coins, or luxury watches to Gold Capital. Not only does Gold Capital come to you, we also give you free and honest appraisals for your luxury items. So don't wait. Call Gold Capital today and get paid immediately. Gold Capital, South Africa's most trusted gold brokers since 1992.
Your business needs that new heavy-duty laser printer, but do you have the cash to fund it? Before you compromise on the core items your business needs, have you looked at saving on your business insurance? Switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. For educational institutes, law firms, real estate agencies, computer services, and all other businesses, visit outsurance.co.za or call them on 08600 60,000 today. OUTsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Hi, this is Teko Modise, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Be a winner who knows when it's time for a timeout and play responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counseling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No person under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
If you want the easiest way to handle the admin of selling your car, don't waste another minute. Visit webuycars.co.za today. Why complicate things when you can simply get an offer and let WeBuyCars come to you? So they handle everything from the admin to vehicle collection, all while you barely have to leave the couch. And if you're looking to trade in your current ride for something a little different, you can stay relaxed and browse over 15,000 vehicles on webuycars.co.za. Prefer in person? Well, visit your nearest WeBuyCars branch and view thousands of vehicles on the showroom floor. Once you find a vehicle you like, you can take it for a test drive to see if it's the right fit for your needs. When it comes to cars, WeBuyCars takes convenience to the next level. So whether you're buying or selling a vehicle, visit WeBuyCars online or in-store and experience it firsthand.
702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa is brought to you by BCX. Built on trusted telecom business connectivity. Powered by cloud, strengthened by security, enabled by AI.
Good morning, Bongani and 702 lenders. I wanted to get in while you are interviewing Prof. The matter of declaration of interest, who knows who have worked with who or studied with who, those declarations are actually not honest. People will say no interest or no, I have no connection to this person, and then the process continue. Come the time when now the person is appointed, you start realizing that no, these people are actually connected. So those declarations, yes, it's a procedural issue, but unfortunately, people who are to declare are not honest. Have a wonderful day. Anonymous.
This is Peter from Kenton Park. Interesting conversation with the professor there, some interesting comments. However, what happened to ability? Shouldn't that be the top criteria for any job application? Thank you.
Good morning, Bongani. Hope you're good. This is so true what you guys are discussing there, that if you don't belong to a certain ethnic group or race, it becomes very hard for you to really find a job in an institution or whatever that may be, especially public services. I once worked for the correctional services. I remember when I got a job, the first thing I was asked was, who do you know here? How did you get a job here? By the so-called colleagues that I worked with then.
I mean, I think that's the whole point, that it should be about ability, but it should also be about making sure that the institution can run with different ideas and different perspectives, right? So that you avoid groupthink, you avoid inappropriate loyalties. It should be easy to tell if there's a concentration of people, and it could be something, and it's easy, of course, to hop on about race and ethnicity, but it could also be about, we all studied together. We all went to St. What together. We're all friends. We're all part of a network. And so what happens is, with that kind of setting, anybody who is an outsider feels it even when it comes to the execution of professional duties. And it can lead to all sorts of problems because there's this inside group. And if you're not a part of it, you can't crack it. Because we all come from Mthatha, right? We all grew up in Mthatha. We speak the same languages. We all know the same people. We have the same relatives. How then do you question decisions made by people that you feel you owe something to? But it's interesting that even when the question is raised, what you're asserting there in one of those voice notes is that people actually lie.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance, a chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. Today's answer comes from Nonkululeko in Midrand. Nonkululeko, please give us today's answer.
Hi, Bongani. Today's answer is 62.
62. And tell me, Nonkululeko, have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
Yes, I've requested a quote.
Your biscuit. 1,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to Outsurance and 702. Thank you for that answer. Nonkuleko says it's 62. What's the question? Call us if you know on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
All right, Cindy Paluta, it was a fantastic weekend of sport once again. And the Commonwealth Games, it's all over.
It wrapped up. What are we going to watch in the
Gosh.
middle of the day? Absolutely nothing. We're back to that dry season now. But anyway, Team South Africa will return home from the Commonwealth with 28 medals in total, 7 gold, 11 silver and 10 bronze. They finished 11th on the overall table, the team getting one more medal than 4 years ago in Birmingham. Opening weekend of the Betway Premiership, it's Kaizer Chiefs who are top of the table ahead of Orlando Pirates. Yesterday, Polokwane City beat Richards Bay 2-1, while TS Galaxy came from 2 goals down to draw with Siwalele 2-2. At WAFCON, Cameroon through to the quarterfinals. They beat Ghana 1-0, while Mali sent Cape Verde home after a 3-2 result. There's more than just the WAFCON title to play for, as the top 4 sides will qualify for next year's Women's World Cup. Banyana next plays Burkina Faso tomorrow night. Defender Bongani Bingwa.
The door is still open, It's up to us if we want to close it or keep it open. But I believe in the girls. I think what we did, it just gave us that momentum to say, hey, you can score 2 goals. Hey, never give up, even if you're 2-0 down, no matter what minute is it. I think the results are very positive for us.
Liverpool ended their pre-season tour with a 4-2 loss to Leeds in Chicago. Liverpool were 2 up at half-time through Chambers and Wirtz. Leeds came out firing with 2 goals from Calvert-Lewin as well as goals from Aronson and Longstaff. Premier League opens on the 21st of August. In the Currie Cup yesterday, Boland suffering their first defeat. They lost to the Pumas 2015. The Lions remain unbeaten and top of the table after their 23-point win over the Bulls on Saturday. While in cricket, the West Indies 239 for 5 at stumps on day one of the second test against Pakistan. Greaves is there on 64. And in golf, the Women's Open was won by Shia Kawaki, who overturned a 3-shot deficit to play Esther Henselite in a dramatic playoff. Kawaki won the second extra playoff for her maiden major title. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
16 to 7, let's catch up with that traffic. We're seeing some delays in the capital, Amu.
Yeah, that's correct, Bongani. Due to an accident reported along Littleton Road as you approach Old Johannesburg Road, there's also queuing traffic along the Lynchon Avenue. This is due to people trying to avoid the backlog on the N14 East. This is between the R55 and Brakfontein interchange. Then on Lynchon Avenue, the delays are between the Rumty Road exit and Old Johannesburg Road exit. So please, if you are traveling within the city of Tshwane this morning, please be patient as traffic is a bit backed up than usual days. And then, of course, if you're traveling on the N1 South, more delays. This is between Rigel Avenue and the Flying Saucer interchange, and that's due to peak time delays. There's also peak time delays in Irene along the intersection of Main and Napiers Drive. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Johannesburg Philharmonic's early spring season features an excellent lineup of world-class international conductors and soloists performing with the finest musicians. Curated to match the vitality of spring, the program includes favorites by Tchaikovsky, Brahms, Mozart, and more. Concerts take place on Thursday evenings at the Linda Auditorium from the 13th of August to the 3rd of September at 7:30 p.m. Tickets available at Quicket or visit jpo.co.za.
As a business owner, you're always looking for ways to save money. But have you looked at saving on your business insurance premium? With Outsurance Business Insurance, you could save big, like Bosmansdam High School.
We were with our previous insurance for 10 years plus before switching to Outsurance Business Insurance.
We are saving 3,705 Rand per month.
It was so quick and easy, we should have switched sooner.
Ready to switch and save? Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
Checkers brings you better freshness, better choice, and better value every day. On deals like Dr. Utker Ital Pizza Foldover, 310 to 345 grams, any two for 129 Rand. And Baby Soft 2-ply white or supreme quilts toilet rolls. 18-pack, any two for 249 Rand. Plus, get up to 40% back in UCount rewards with your qualifying Standard Bank card. Valid until 10 August. Only at Checkers, Checkers Hyper, or shop on 6060.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance, please tell me what's the question. If the answer is 62, let's go to Mandla. Mandla, what's the question?
The question is, how old would the late Lucky Dube be turning today?
Yes,
He was
indeed.
born in 1964.
Yes, indeed. It's one of the best. He is, in fact, one of the best known singer, songwriters, and of course, promoting the reggae genre in South Africa. Mandla, you're absolutely correct. He died too young, didn't he? He would have been 62 years old today. I want you to listen to an interview he conducted in 1992 at Reggae Sunsplash in Jamaica, where he was speaking about what it meant to be a reggae artist as a South African.
You tour a lot. I mean, how many weeks out of or months out of a year would you say you tour?
Well, most of the time I'm on the road. If I remember well, it's only maybe about 2 months a year that I'm at home, you know. But most of the time I'm out of the country.
Is there a reason why you tour so much?
Well, it's because the stage keeps me happy. I'm happy when I'm on stage, I don't think of anything, all I think about is the people and the music and the vibe and everything. So I like being on stage. I enjoy being on stage.
Oh, what a legend. Lucky Dube gave us so many hits. And yeah, he was just too young when he was killed so brutally in that awful, awful crime at his home. Deciding to ignore the DIY instructions may only cost you a few hours, but deciding to stay with your current car insurance could be costing you thousands of rands in savings a year. With Outsurance, 48-year-old Adam saves an unbelievable 1,803 rand a month on his 2020 Audi Q3. Switch to Outsurance. You too could be one quote away from having more money in your pocket every month. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Big ideas need a bigger screen, one that locks in when you do. The new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra brings together Galaxy AI, powerful multitasking, and all-day performance so you can work smarter, create faster, and stay one step ahead. That's power maxing. Pre-order the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra and get up to 1,500 Rand worth of accessories. Offer available at participating stores until 12 August. T's and C's apply.
You hear that? That's the sound of business execution finally visible. No more chasing people and reports, no more disconnected systems, no more guessing if our business is performing or not. iStratGo connects strategy, people, performance, and day-to-day work into one clear software platform, so leaders can see what's working, what's not, and where to focus. Because when execution is visible, everything runs better. Book a demo on istratgo.com. istratgo.com.
Running a truck fleet business in this economy is tough. Fuel, maintenance, staff, the costs never stop.
That's why I switched to My Way Business Insurance. Now I save up to 20% on my insurance premiums every month. These savings go a long way to keeping my fleet on the move.
Switch to My Way Business Insurance and save up to 20% on your trucks and buses. Real businesses, real savings. Call us on 0860 646464 for a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. Standard rates and T's and C's apply.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
Kabazela still out for the day. He'll be making a welcome return tomorrow. But we continue, of course, because viral videos are always there. And this time we've got producer Baphelile Sambo
I'm waiting
in
for
the
my
hot
moment.
seat.
Good morning
Good
to
morning.
you.
Kabazela.
Good morning to you, babe. How are you?
Let's talk about two videos
Yes,
that went
Bongani.
viral this
Aha.
weekend. And it's all to do with the campaigns, I suppose, as people were registering in person, at least,
Yes.
for the last time this past weekend. We'll start with...
So I was
Ukoko.
gonna tell you about these two viral moments that went viral on. You might have seen them on your TikTok, on Instagram, or Twitter. So in this first clip, Gog Helen Zille is out and about, and during one of her stops, there's an ANC member who's standing across the road. So they are basically opposite of each other. And this ANC member is flipping a finger to Gog Helen Zille. But as we know, Gog Helen Zille is always like,
unflappable.
Yeah. So she responds cheekingly to ANC slogan of fixing local government. Let's take a listen before I ask you my question.
Look at that. At least the ANC has a sense of irony. Their slogan is fixing local government. How'd you like that? A real sense of irony there. Fixing local government. The same one the ANC broke. Well, you can't fix what you broke.
A few moments later.
Baba Congolose. Baba Uma. Baba bye.
So this was the moment.
Not quite the charming goodbye she would have expected, right?
So, and another moment also went viral, Bongani, but this time it involves our president. So as he was about walking about Liena during a live interaction, he sees this young 22-year-old who's excited to see the president. And he's like, "Hi, Mr. Cupcake, how are you?" And as we know that our president is just one of those people who doesn't take such things to offense. He actually embraces and then calls the young student to come and ask her about what she does for a living and her career.
No. She called him...
"Hi, Mr. Cupcake, how are you, Mr. Cupcake?" She was so happy and so excited. I think if I also get to see the president,
Please don't call him Mr. Cupcake.
"Hi, Mr. Cupcake, how are you?" Why not?
No.
But before...
If you do, you won't work here.
But we do also have that clip. KG, do the things.
Hi, Mr. Cupcake. Hi, Mr. President. Sorry, my bad.
How are you?
I am good on yourself.
Very well. What do you do?
I am doing a leadership at CISA Open Cast under Business Administration. I'm also doing BA in Police Science at UNISA. I'm mentioning.
Very good.
Thank you.
Hello.
She needs to study further.
Oh no.
How can she call him that?
Ngani, he is Cupcake. Actually, when I was doing my Googling there, and I said Ramaphosa Cupcake, and actually it does give a description that he's often called Cupcake.
Yes, but not to his face.
Well, these young people. But anyway, I wanted to ask 702 lenders, who's the most famous politicians you ever met, and how did you react?
I was 18. It was Nelson Mandela.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, beat that.
And how did you react?
Beat that. It was too overwhelming.
You didn't get to say anything?
What do you say?
Hi, Mr. President Nelson Mandela.
No, it was a lot. I was 18.
Okay, I can't wait
All
to
right,
hear your
so
reaction.
who's the most famous politician or political leader you have met, and how did you respond?
702.
702. Feedback
with Siamtanda Matiso.
Semtanda Matiso in the hot seat. I mean, you work
morning.
at 702. I'm sure you've met one or two politicians in your time.
I have, but you know what? After you've mentioned Nelson Mandela, I'm kicking myself because every December he had this trend of going back home in Umtata. I'm from Umtata to give like Christmas presents to kids. And I almost had
you
an
were still a
opportunity
kid.
to meet him, but we had to go to my aunt's house. And I'm like, I wish I could have met him, Nelson Mandela. But, missed opportunity there.
All right. What else do you have?
You read on the newspapers in Sowetan, page 4, concerning article of people getting scammed via WhatsApp.
Yes.
And you asked that question, what social media platform do you have a love and hate relationship with? Many people mentioned X, and they feel like it's a platform where people post controversial or bully others just to simply go viral. Instagram, showing lifestyles. You guys are competing there. TikTok. Someone mentioned something that's concerning, and I've always wondered how parents feel when teachers or people take videos of their kids without their consent. So that's the thing that people mention there on TikTok and following trends and stuff. But also sticking on that, Mutewa asked, are you easily influenced? And there is a TikTok challenge. I don't know whether you've seen it.
Yeah.
It's where people mention things that are not worth buying or things that are worth buying. And I feel like, that's people mention that they get influenced there. I follow that trend and I love it. Mutewa was like, nah, it's a bragging platform, so he's not interested.
So what have you
in
bought that you now think?
Nothing that is expensive. I can't wait to become a millionaire to buy myself the expensive stuff.
I don't have one, but I think one of the things that's not worth buying for me is a luxury watch. Somebody must explain
Bongani.
to me
why
why you would spend hundreds of thousands of
Bongani,
rands.
you have so many watches. I'm
but
sure
they're
there's
not
an expensive one.
No.
Really?
I have my cheaper watches. That's why I have so many, because they're all cheap.
Okay.
But does a luxury watch tell time, I don't know, on Jupiter? What does it do different from my little Machipo watch?
That is true, though.
That's something I would consider
Yeah.
not worth buying. All right, we want to know what's the most famous political leader, who's the most famous political leader you have met, and how was your reaction? Because sometimes it's people you would happily criticize, and then when they're in your presence, you feel the power of the office they hold, and suddenly you're not so critical.
This is EWN.
Bron Mokhotsi goes back to court for his pre-trial hearing, and AfriForum's legal battle against Expropriation Act is set to start. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Pre-trial proceedings in the matter of self-proclaimed political fixer Bron Mokhotsi are expected to start today. Mokhotsi was dealt a blow recently when the High Court in Johannesburg upheld the magistrate's decision to refuse him bail. The ruling outlines that Mokhotsi failed to place any genuine new facts before the court to justify his release pending trial. Mokhotsi is facing 5 charges linked to an incident that happened in November last year, where he allegedly staged an assassination attempt on his own life. He was denied bail by the magistrate's court after he provided 3 unverifiable residential addresses. A police officer is expected to continue with his testimony in the trial of alleged underworld figure Vusmuzi Matlala and 4 co-accused. Captain Pimi Sikhobela has been testifying about the disputed circumstances surrounding the arrest of accused number 1 Musa Kekana during the trial within a trial in the Johannesburg High Court. Proceedings were halted on Friday after Annelien van der Rewe, that's the counsel for accused number 3, was asked to produce an SAPS standing order that she relied on during her cross-examination of Sikhobela. Matlala and 4 others are facing charges including conspiracy to commit murder and attempted murder. Dimakatso Leshoro has more.
The trial within a trial has been dealing with evidence the defense says was unlawfully obtained and should be excluded from the main trial. Advocate Annelien van der Rewe claimed the SAPS standing order sets out procedures police must follow in managing a crime scene and sought to question Sikhobela on whether he had complied with its requirements, including whether he was obliged to keep a detailed register for every person who entered and left the scene. Sikhobela told the court he had no knowledge of this instruction. When asked, van der Rewe was unable to produce the document despite it forming part of her questioning. Proceedings were then halted for counsel to produce the document after the presiding officer, Judge Karim Musa, ruled that when counsel relies on a legal authority, it must be immediately produced in court. Dimakatso Leshoro, Eyewitness News.
Staying with legal matters, the Western Cape High Court will today hear arguments for and against the Expropriation Act. The case centers on the constitutionality of the legislation and whether the state can, under certain circumstances, acquire property without paying compensation. Afrikaans lobby group AfriForum argues the act threatens private property rights, while the EFF and other supporters say it is necessary to advance land reform and address historical injustices. Carlo Peterson has more.
At the heart of the dispute is whether the Expropriation Act strikes the correct balance between protecting private property and enabling meaningful land reform. The EFF, which joined legal proceedings as an intervening party, says it will continue to support expropriation without compensation. AfriForum, meanwhile, maintains the legislation opens the door to excessive state control over private land. With land reform remaining one of South Africa's most contested issues, the case is expected to draw significant public interest. The outcome could influence future land policy debates well beyond the courtroom. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And US President Donald Trump says new negotiations with Iran will begin today after he decided to hold off on striking the Islamic Republic to pursue a deal to end the war entering its sixth month. Trump says the talks will cover the Strait of Hormuz, a route for global energy supplies that has become a key sticking point in the conflict, and ultimately the denuclearization of Iran. Iran says it is nearing a deal with Oman over a new route through the strait, where a tanker reported an explosion nearby on Sunday, and underscoring the continued volatility of the strategic waterway. Washington and Tehran have been at war since late February, when the US and Israel launched surprise strikes against Iran. Trump spoke to reporters on his plane.
And the deal is imminent, having to do with the Hormuz Strait and also ultimately the denuclearization of Iran. So when I hear that, I say, well, do we want to go and be this severe? Now, there's a group of people that would like me to just do it. And there's another group of people that does not want me to do it.
Gold is trading at $4,070.23 an ounce. The rand is at 16.47 to the dollar, 22.18 to the pound, 18.99 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $83.39 a barrel.
And in the traffic in Benoni, there's been an accident on the N12 West. It happened near Snake Road. It's causing heavy delays. Please be on the lookout there. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N3 North. This is between the Elands Interchange and Van Buren Road while heading towards Sandton. Do expect delays on the M1 South between the Baku Interchange and Marlborough Drive.
And in your sport, the Betway Premiership yesterday, Galaxy held Sibalele 2-2 while Polokwane beat Richards Bay. At WAFCON, the pressure's on for Banyana ahead of tomorrow's must-win game of Burkina Faso. Last night, Cameroon made the quarterfinals. Cape Verde was sent home. And Team South Africa will turn home from the Commonwealth Games with 28 medals in total.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs of 18 and 21 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Pre-trial proceedings in the matter of self-proclaimed political fixer Bram Mokhotsi are expected to start today.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa, brought to you by BCX. Built on trusted connectivity, powered by cloud, strengthened by security, enabled by AI.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Had an interesting conversation with Professor Somato Tafigeni a little earlier on about how we run particularly public institutions and the leaders at the top. You can claim you have diversity, but is it really diversity when, oh yeah, you've got security guards and cleaners and janitors from different backgrounds, but the leadership at the very top is concentrated from one community, from one ethnic group. Maybe they all went to school together, they all know each other. What happens when people lie about previous connections to potential candidates that you later find out they had a hand in getting into the organization, even though they said they didn't know them? How do you avoid groupthink in that situation where people are having braais and are playing golf and going on holidays and discussing work and their families are all intertwined and interconnected? How do you say no to a boss you call mama? Right? That's what they were calling Andrea Johnson at IDAC. Mama. How do you say no to Mama? Quite apart from the other monikers like gorgeous and sweetness. Let's talk.
Hey, how's it, Bongani? How's it, 702 fam? It's Stephen here. Happy Monday. Your conversation around diversity and decision-making is fascinating. For years as a reporter, whenever there was appointments to a board of a government entity and a cabinet briefing, I'd just go and look at all of the surnames to see how diverse they were. But you know, Bongani, that doesn't work anymore. The prof is so right to point to what happens in the US. I'm actually reading the book The Big Short at the moment. And there, all of the people who lost so much money, they all have very different surnames. Some have American Italian names, some have Chinese ethnicity in their history. They all come from very different places, but they all thought the same because they'd all been working in the same area for a long time. And that's happening in our society now. In Sandton, you'll have huge diversity of names. So you have to really look for diversity of thought. Anyway, see you later. Cheers.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Absolutely, and I think that's one of the things we were discussing. It's easy enough to see it in terms of ethnicity because, you know, phenotype is a thing, right? But people who come from the same background, who come from the same institutions, who went to the same universities, for example, or who worked at the same firms, and they all come together. And there's this concentration of a similar type of thinking. But even more importantly, there is somebody who was the first, who's brought them all in. And so they all owe something to this individual who might be at the very top. And so how do you then question the decisions and the choices they make? In our What's Gone Viral conversation, who's the most famous political leader that you've met, and how did you deal with them? Because in my experience, I can sit here every day, because in this country I'm allowed to, and criticize even the president, and this and that, as I probably rightly should. But I tell you what, the aura of the office, certainly, and sometimes the individual, sometimes the occupant, is a very different thing when they're in front of you. That sense of power when it walks into the room. It's a very different thing. Even Trump, for all that you've heard me say a million times about Donald Trump, if he were to walk in here with the Secret Service and the entourage, it's a very different thing face to face. Muteo, is it not?
No, it really is. I met Jackson Tembo, I think it was a 2012 Mangaung conference. I was very young, still reporting on politics then. And the conversation obviously started with the inner workings of the ANC, and I'm trying to understand this political sphere in South Africa. But it ended up being a conversation really that's regular around his kids and how he misses them, and his schedule's not really allowing him to see them grow up. And I'm reminding him of, the younger kids in his family. So it was very, very normal. And I walked away saying, okay, they're actually quite human as well.
The personal in the politics.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Amu?
Yeah, I remember covering the ANC elective conference. I can't remember the year. It was quite interesting to see how, not particularly myself, but other journalists, how they treated these leaders as they came out to the arena or heading towards the conference. The kind of respect they had, even though on the sidelines, of course, they would criticize former President Jacob Zuma and talk about him. But when he showed up, every journalist ran towards him, and you could see how
and he has an aura.
He has a presence.
Yeah.
He has a presence that you can't avoid, and you almost want to know who is this that everyone is flocking towards. And when you realize, oh, it's Jacob Zuma.
I've met political leaders like Tony Blair. I've interviewed Tony Blair. I've interviewed Al Gore. I've interviewed this president. I've interviewed former President Thabo Mbeki. I've met Nelson Mandela, and I tell you what, for all our criticism of all these leaders, when you are face to face, right in front of you, it's a very different story.
Bongani 702, famous people I've met. Also, at 18, it was Nelson Mandela, former President Nelson Mandela, at the University of Pretoria. He was there to attend his grandchild's graduation, and they had an accident inside campus. with their black Mercedes, and everyone was like, what's going on, what's going on? And he had to be transferred to another Mercedes, and that's when we all saw who was in that car, and we were overwhelmed. Oh my goodness. And it turned, poor grandchild's graduation turned into something else, because graduation was over and it was now us and former president. Yeah, it was quite something.
About 15 years ago, I was quite a young guy, and I was at Sandton City, and I was paying for my parking, and suddenly a black BMW pulls up next to me. A guy jumps out, taps me on my shoulder and says, "Hi, can you please pay for the minister's parking?" And I was like, "Huh? Minister?" And as I turned around, she was coming out of the mall down the escalator, and it was Lindiwe Sisulu with another protector. So I really liked her at the time. So I was very excited, and then I paid for it. And as she walked past me, I asked for a picture, and she was so easy about it. And then her protector told her that I paid for her parking. And she was like, "Oh no, let me pay you back." And I was like, no. And she gave me $50. I still have that $50. So yeah, quite an experience.
Gabazela in Bele. Flores here from a beautiful Western Cape. I met Buthelezi in 1989. That was pre-democracy. I was working at this certain health resort, and Buthelezi would often come there just to de-stress. And I greeted him in Afrikaans. I said, "Hallo meneer Buthelezi, hoe gaan het met u?" And he responded back in Afrikaans, and I was shocked. He said, "Nee, dit gaan baie goed met my. Hoe gaan dit met jou?" Lekker. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Morning, 702 land. Actually, if people actually knew how the president got the name Cupcake, I doubt they'd call him Cupcake to his face. Oh, shame, man. Oh, Cupcake.
Good morning, 702 and the team. Come on, Bongani, loosen up a bit. It's just Cupcake. That's just the humor of being a South African. He knows we mean well. Like, he's our Cupcake, Mr. President. You know, we respect him as Cyril and the president, but like, he is a cupcake too. You know, the things that he does are cupcake-ish. But we love him, and he's our president. President Cyril Ramaphosa.
At least call him Buffalo Gay, if we're going to go there, right? Buffalo I can deal with.
Isn't that worse?
No.
To his face, Buffalo.
Yes, because he likes buffaloes.
Bongani.
No, he likes buffaloes. He buys buffalo.
Yeah.
But the cupcake one, if you think about the origins of that story, Timbile, you're in Centurion. You reckon Chiefs are taking it this? You reckon Chiefs are taking it this year?
Yeah, no, I'm a Chiefs guy. Let me first join in the you guys congratulating Pirates for selling 10,000 units in the first week. 10,000 units. Chiefs last season, they sold 1 million. Kappa sold 1 million. We got to congratulate. 10,000 units, big. Eh? That's big. And also for selling out Orlando Stadium, sold out stadium. We do it every week as Chiefs. But we congratulate you. I have to congratulate you guys on this one.
Tembile, we've taken now about maybe 4 or 5 calls, voice notes from Chiefs fans this morning.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We are going to save them all, my friend.
At
the end of the season, we'll play them. This very phone call.
Lastly, Bongani, before I go, 702 needs to do something about employing
the
Chiefs
concentration.
guys.
The concentration of Pirates.
Even Clement is going to come in now. Clement is a Pirates guy. I know it's too much, but I can't deal.
Touche. Dembele, I get it. We're talking about the concentration of people in one organization. Yeah, ne? Touche.
EWN Traffic.
Up next, a conversation about cybercrime and WhatsApp with Toby Shapchak. 17 after 8, the CWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. That crash in Benoni, Amu?
It's causing heavy delays. Bongani is on the N12 West. It happened right near Tom Jones Street. Delays from Patfontein Road. Please be on the lookout there. Or try to use the N17 West through Boksburg, especially if you're heading towards areas like Germiston as well as Edenville. If you are traveling in Sunny Hill, we've got a car stuck on the road. It's on the N1 North right near the Baklu interchange, causing delays from Rivonia Road. There's also slow-moving traffic in the city of Tshwane along the N14 East. This is between the Brakfontein interchange and the R55. Please approach with care. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outsurance Pointsman can't help you find the value of X in your child's algebra homework, but they can get the traffic flowing smoothly, so you get to the school on time. The Pointsmen are real heroes in green and purple, easing congestion, making lives easier for almost 21 years now. It's just another way you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
19 after 8, there's a story in the Sowetan today, which I think we all need to think a little bit about. So there you are, minding your own business, and you get a verification code on your phone that you didn't ask for. It typically comes, of course, as an SMS. And before you do anything about it, a few minutes later, you notice you are locked out of your WhatsApp and your number has been hacked. And of course, the hackers can contact your contacts on your phone, asking for all sorts of things, including loans and money. And only because the hacker had your name and number, they can do this? Toby Shapshak is the editor-in-chief of Stuff and joins us. This sounds frightening, Toby. Good morning.
Yes. Hi, Bongani. And I'm afraid to say it's happened to a lot of people. And there are a couple of things 702 listeners need to just do to secure their WhatsApp, which I'll get to. But let's just look at what happened. So a photographer at the Sowetan got a message from another photographer, I think at the Sunday Times, saying, I've lost my card's been blocked. Please, can you lend me some money? And he's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And that kind of thing happens a lot. And he sent him some money, and the second time they asked for another $800, so he sent it to him. And it's one of those sad scams that happens and goes around, and people just with the best intentions send a little bit of money, and before they know it, they've been scammed. So there are a few things to do, and there are a few things to look out for. First, nobody messages like that. Everybody should be aware that the banks don't call you and ask you for the OTP, the one-time PIN.
Sure.
Nobody messages you and says, I run out of money. If that kind of thing happens, your spidey sense should rise up. Your hackles should go up and go, okay, this is a scam. So anytime anyone messages you and asks you for money, it's a scam.
Especially if it's somebody who doesn't ordinarily do that. But what I'm also perhaps even more worried about, Toby, is the idea that simply by having my name and number, you can log me out or lock me out of my WhatsApp if you know what you're doing.
Well, here's the thing, Bongani. Everybody needs to do this. Please do this morning. Turn on what's called two-step verification. You have to put in a secret PIN that lets you log into your phone. Into your WhatsApp account. And that's what everyone should do. It's 5 digits. It's the easiest thing in the world. You were talking about...
Where do you do it?
You do it inside of WhatsApp. I've currently got the phone next to my head, so I can't have a look at it. But if you go to... Let me have a quick
Your
look.
settings, maybe?
Go into your settings and look for privacy, safety, and security. You can also do things like set up a passkey. You can have a passkey, which is the new form of password. A password is a username, and a password is the username and password. But a passkey uses the biometric system on your phone. So it uses your face or your fingerprints, and once the phone knows who you are, it trusts your identity is correct, and then the passkey will trust the phone to say, this is the real person, this is Toby logging on to WhatsApp. So you can do both of those. Those are both under settings and security. Please, everybody, do that now. Set up a pass key, and if you don't want to set up the pass key, just put in the secret PIN. Every now and again, WhatsApp will ask you to put the secret PIN in. It's pretty much like a password for the account. So it prevents anyone else. If someone does a SIM swap for you, there were a couple of examples of that in the Sowetan story, and I've heard those over the years. Someone does a SIM swap, logs into your WhatsApp, and does asks for the OTP via SMS, so they get it because they've got the new SIM, and you have no idea. But if you've got this PIN code, this 5-digit PIN code, that's enough for people to stop you. I mean, I remember one of the communications minister was hacked. I think it was Stella Ndebeni Abrams. I think she's got divorced. Her surname has changed, I noticed. I'm not sure. But she was hacked, and it's just the simplest way to turn it on.
Yeah,
So,
but sometimes, Toby, of course, we take with a bit of a pinch of salt when our politicians tell us they've been hacked, particularly when they post certain things on social media.
No, that's only social media. Social media is different from getting hacked by WhatsApp.
I understand.
There's no excuse for that.
I think we've got the gist of it. So make sure you protect your WhatsApp. And I suppose also we can be a little circumspect about how readily we dish out our numbers. Toby Shapshak there is the editor-in-chief of Stuff magazine. Go to your settings. Make sure you've got that two-step verification process, even for WhatsApp.
702, The World View.
With Adam Gilchrist.
Catch up with news from elsewhere in the world. It all, of course, started with the heat waves and now wildfires in Greece. Adam.
Yeah, adding Greece to the wildfires we've already talked about in France, Spain, Italy, Croatia, Russia, China, the US, Canada. So here we are in Greece with the flames being fanned by gale force winds. So if you have temperatures and tinderbox conditions, temperatures of around about 35 degrees again today. It's going up again. Winds gusting at 125 kph. And now a fire that is heading in the direction of Athens. I suppose we shouldn't be too alarmist about it because fires do head in a direction, but nonetheless, it's 30 to 40 kilometers west of Athens, and given the rate at which it's spreading, they're worried. We've also seen 2 firefighting helicopters collide, and 2 pilots died as a result, 1 Greek, 1 Danish, which will show that it's, again, a multi-European effort to try to stop this particular wildfire. But in some parts of Europe, including, for instance, London, for goodness sake, it hasn't rained for nearly 7 weeks. And I know it always rains in London, doesn't it? Not now, it doesn't. So as we speak, hundreds of homes have been destroyed and 500 Greek firefighters and forest commandos are at work.
Adam, let's talk about the Queen of the Alps.
She's extraordinary. I beg your pardon. Excuse me. Yeah, the New Zealand runner Sophie Woods has become not just the fastest woman to complete the famous Via Alpina, the Alpine Way, she's become the fastest person, man or woman, to run 2,000 kilometers in 29 days. She was often doing over 60 kilometers a day. One occasion she ran for, I think it was 22 and a half hours that particular day, hour and a half kip and up again. She ran through storms, heat of up to 37 degrees, even at altitude sometimes. She dodged floods and wildfires. She started in Slovenia. She ended up in Monaco. Just look on a globe or a map and you see, blimey, that's a long way. 2,000 kilometers. She says actually running downhill was the worst bit, but she ran the equivalent of running up and down Mount Everest 12 times because the Alps can be bloomin' high. And she's done it, though. The previous record was 35 days. Sophie Woods has done it in 29. And she was very focused throughout. She said it was always about staying in the minute. But she also credits ice cream slushes for helping her power through. Specifically, slushes made from Magnum ice creams, which are loaded with a lot of nonsense. But I guess if you're running 60 kilometers a day, you can put up with the nonsense.
Yeah, indeed. Now, our traffic anchor, Amo, loves herself a cup of coffee. And Adam, you've got music for her ears.
I think she's doing the right thing. Yeah, absolutely. So for all coffee drinkers, this is a report from Harvard University. And I tried to double check. I don't believe this is sponsored by a coffee company. So number one. Number two, they looked at over 300,000 adults and found that there are enormous health benefits in drinking coffee. Good for the brain, heart, liver, and anti-depression. Even decaf, by the way, works. It's just the coffee thing rather than the caffeine thing. But the full Monty is even better. So they say, their conclusion from the study, 3 cups of coffee a day lowers your risk of dementia by 20%. 5 cups of coffee a day reduces the risk of liver cancer and cirrhosis. Now, they do mark that there can be some awkwardnesses that, for instance, coffee can trigger migraines. I know it did in my sister. Also, it doesn't always go with the menopause. It can be rather a heady mix. But overall, they say, drinking between 2 and 5 cups of coffee every day of your working life will absolutely, they say, be good for you. And the effect appears to peak when drinking coffee at the age of 48. So they say start in your late 20s, early 30s, but make sure at 48 you're sticking the good stuff in you. Other drinks are available, of course.
Adam, I have a latte love for you after that. Where have you been all my life? Adam Gilchrist with this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
Giving it his best shot this morning. See what I did there? A business news roundup with Mateo Haripe. Anglo reporting solid results, Mateo.
Yeah, Anglo Gold Ashanti posted a 58% increase in second quarter profit as higher gold prices really offset the impact of lower output. The miner said its headline earnings were at $1 billion in the 3 months to June, up from $639 million a year earlier. Anglo Gold's second quarter gold production, though, fell 7% year on year to 744,000 ounces following the sale of Brazil's Serra Grande mine in December of 2025. Output was also impacted by a 32% drop in gold production at the Uabasi mine in Ghana due to operational and equipment challenges, as well as disruptions linked to a fatality in April of 2026. Although its half-year output was at 3.7% lower year on year at 1.4 million ounces, Anglo Gold said it expected a stronger second half performance to achieve its annual production forecast of between 2.8 and 3.1 million ounces.
Here's one. I cannot espresso how much that means to all the shareholders. Your indicators, Mateo?
Oil prices fell in Asia trading this morning after U.S. President Donald Trump said he had called off a planned strike on Iran. The West Texas Intermediate futures for September delivery declining nearly 6% in the U.S. to $79 a barrel, while Brent crude, the international benchmark, that delivery for October lost around 5% to $83 a barrel. In Asia this morning, Japan's Nikkei falling by close to 1%, while the Topix was also down by over 1%. The Kospi dropped by 4%, while in Australia, the benchmark S&P ASX 200 was also little changed this morning. The Rand, though, punching above its weight, up more than 0.5% against the US dollar at 16 Rand 45 cents, 18 Rand 98 cents against the Euro, and 22 Rand 17 cents against the British Pound. Price of gold at $4,066 an ounce, up 0.5%, while platinum is also at $1,666. Brent crude now down 7.6% at $83 a barrel. That's your morning business. Stephen Grotes with more this afternoon.
Thank you, Mateo. 8:31, your time check. Swiss Zulu, better latte than never. It's time to listen to your beautiful voice.
Thanks, Barney. Good morning. The Western Cape Education Department says it's ready to support Fairmont and Settlers High Schools following an alleged racist incident during a rugby match. The match was called off early on Saturday after the referee indicated that a racial slur had been used. A video of the alleged incident has been circulating on social media and it sparked public outrage. Kemre Clark reports.
In the footage, the referee can be heard saying he cannot be part of racism. Both schools say they are investigating the incident and have urged the public not to share the video, warning that doing so could compromise the investigation. Western Cape Education Department spokesperson Brona Hammond.
The WCD has been made aware of the allegations. The matter is being investigated. We will provide any necessary support, including counselling if required.
The department says both schools are giving the matter the necessary attention and should be allowed to complete the investigations without interference or disruption. Camry Clark. Eyewitness News.
National Coloured Congress leader Fadil Adams says he's confident his party can challenge the DA's dominance in Cape Town and push the city towards a coalition government. Adams made the announcement during the final day of in-person voter registration yesterday. Speaking in Mitchell's Plain, where the party has a strong backing, Adams says their focus is on service delivery rather than social media campaigning.
Our work speaks for it. Our voters are people that we service. Children we force into schools, people we put into jobs, water we've reconnected, indigent grants that we've gotten for people. That is what we're about.
And the Sudanese army has struck a court in Western Darfur with drones, killing 35 people and wounding others. Rights group The Emergency Lawyers, which has documented abuses by both the army and its rival paramilitaries throughout the 3-year conflict, says the strike hits as civilians gathered to attend hearings on local cases and disputes. The court session was being held under a tree with the participating local community leaders of Gara al-Zawaya. The village is under the control of paramilitary rapid support forces, which have been locked in a brutal conflict with the army since April 2023. Among those killed are 4 tribal leaders and 2 RSF commanders. There has been no immediate response from the army. The RSF self-declared government has condemned the attack as a horrific crime. A fine day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 18 and 21 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N14 East, the Brakfontein, towards the Brakfontein interchange coming out of the R55. There's also slow moving traffic reported on the N12 East. This is just as you approach the Tom Jones exit. That's due to an accident.
The top story this hour, the Western Cape Education Department says it's ready to support Fairmont and Settlers High Schools following an alleged racist incident during a rugby match.
At Specsavers, we're committed to offering affordable and professional eye care. That's why we're offering 1,500 Rand worth of savings with our winter promotion. Get a free frame up to the value of 1,500 Rand or use the 1,500 Rand on one of our leading vision enhancements, like Climate Eyes, which automatically adapts to changing light. To qualify, simply purchase a comprehensive eye examination and prescription frame and lenses. Affordable eye care, Specsavers. T's and C's apply.
Durban is ready. Southern Africa is coming together. This August, South Africa proudly hosts the 46th SADC Summit in Durban, bringing together leaders united by a shared vision of regional cooperation, industrialization, economic integration, and sustainable development. When we work as one, trade flourishes, investment grows, jobs are created, and families enjoy opportunities. The 46th SADC Summit, one region, one people, one vision, shared prosperity.
It's Harold's hotline. Pat on the line.
Harold, I'm panicking. I've been walking around the mall for 4 hours. I'm currently staring at a scented candle, a car tire pressure gauge, and a pack of batteries. Should I just get all of them?
Gee, Pat, you're not buying a birthday gift. You're building a lost and found bin.
I thought if I get enough variety, one of them had to hit the mark.
My friend, you're confusing a birthday with a roadside emergency kit.
The mall is closing in 10 minutes, Harold.
Good. Get out of there, click on Net Florist, get a beautiful floral arrangement and a personalised bottle of their favourite wine. Net Florist. It's easy to show you care.
702's Small Business Focus, powered by Capitec, shines a spotlight on the drive, passion, and dedication behind every successful small business.
And no surprise, actually, that confidence across most of the indicators have decreased fairly materially, and that is whether business owners are confident in their own ability to grow their business, confidence in the South African economy to grow their business and make it conducive for them to grow, confidence in access to finance, confidence in whether customers are going to pay them on time, all have dropped a few percentage points, both in comparison to the last quarter as well as the same time last year. And why I say no surprise, it's because you just have to look at what's happening in and around the world.
Every Thursday between 6 and 8 p.m, catch the Small Business Focus on 702 and bank on better business banking with Capitec. Capitec is an authorized FSP 46669.
You're listening to 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa, brought to you by BCX, technology that helps organizations move forward.
Hi, Bongani. Janet here. I think the most powerful political leaders I've met, both as a journalist and as a person working on books, were Chris Hani and Walter Sisulu, both very warm, kind people who addressed you first to find out how you were before you got to the reasons why you were meeting them. And I was very, very young when I met them both, but they stay in my mind. Another political leader with enormous power, in spite of everything that's happened of late, is Julius Malema. You know, when you meet him, he's interesting, he's charismatic.
Your morning breakfast team. Well, I don't know if former First Lady of the country, Zanele Mbeki, falls in the category. I met her in 2001 when I was studying in one of the universities in Johannesburg. She came for a visit and I had to do a thank you speech directed to her. It was one of the wow moment for me, and the cheers. Yeah, it was nice. And I had a picture, still have it. Love it so much. Jeff Mpinga in the van. Danko.
I had the rare opportunity to share whiskey with the late Governor Tito Mboweni. What a lovely time. You know, it was a proper 12-year single malt over some deep conversation with a young man, which basically definitely opened my eyes in terms of the status quo of politics at the time. Ignatius here from Centurion.
Hi, all at 702. Just wanted to say I also met Nelson Mandela. And the other famous politician I met was Robert Kennedy. I just managed to shake his hand, but I did meet him.
Oh, wow. Robert Kennedy. That would have been something. Gosh, that's way back in the 60s, I would imagine. He was assassinated in 1968. So, whoa, what a memory, being able to remember that from all those years ago. We're talking about the most famous political leader you have met. And as I always say, it's one thing to criticize them on the radio and go, wah, 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 wah. But when they're in front of you and the aura of the office is undeniable, sometimes we're not as bold as we thought we were.
EWN Sport.
Robert Kennedy, of course, was John F. Kennedy's brother, was the question you asked me off air. Yeah, both assassinated in the 60s. Quite remarkable.
So who's the current... I'm going mad. Anyway.
There's another Kennedy.
Yes,
that
that's
one.
in the Trump camp.
Yes, that
So
one.
it's not either of those?
No,
Okay.
no, it's the nephew.
There's so many.
It's the nephew. In fact, I think it's the son of Robert F. Kennedy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a whole drama.
Every day is a school day on 702. You learn something new every day.
So we're being trolled, and we're
You and
allowing it
I.
to happen. No, not you. We're being trolled, most of the team members, by Kaizer Chiefs fans.
For 5 minutes.
So what we did is we were talking about how all the Pirates shirts have sold out. And because we all, I mean, they're beautiful and they're gorgeous. And so all the Chiefs fans are saying, oh, shame you. Oh, that's lovely for you. You sold 10,000 in a week. We sold 1 million in the season last year.
Really?
So I'm saying to them, that's what they claim.
Oh, wow.
But I'm saying to them, we are going to save all the voice notes from all the people today who are telling us how Chiefs is going to walk away with this. This
Please
is their
do.
season. We're being humble today.
Okay.
We're
yes.
not, but we're being trolled. But just let the record show.
This is like when your partner WhatsApps you and says, you never told, your partner says to you, you never told me X, Y, Z. And then you go back in the WhatsApp conversation and then you highlight it and you screenshot and you go, there it is, October 31, 2017. You said,
Or you
is
just
this what
reply
you're doing
with-
to the
you
Kaizer
just
Chiefs?
reply and you point.
Yes, you just right here and it's blue ticked. So this is what you're doing to the Kaizer Chiefs fans this morning.
Yeah. So I'm saying nothing in the interest of humility because they may well walk away with it, of
I'm
course.
saying be proud.
They may
and
well
bold
walk
in your
away with it.
statement, Kaizer Chiefs fans, and stand by your team and send those voice notes. Because after the opening weekend of the local premiership, it is Kaizer Chiefs who are top ahead of Pirates. 2 games yesterday. TS Galaxy came from 2 down to draw with Siwelele. Polokwane City beat Richards Bay 2-1. There'll be no midweek action as we build up to the MTN 8 quarterfinals. At WAFCON, Banyana must beat Burkina Faso tomorrow night to have a chance of advancing. After losing their opening match in a draw on on Friday. They have to win tomorrow night and hope Ivory Coast beat Tanzania. Goalkeeper Kaylin Swart.
And I think we just have to always come with our best foot forward, and I think we still have a little bit of a chance, and I think we just got to continue to fight and, show that team spirit that we do have and make all the wrongs right. But yeah, it's going to be a tough task for us to get out of the group, but we have so much belief, and hopefully, the football gods is working for us.
Last night, Cameroon was the first side to go to the quarterfinals. They beat Ghana 1-0, while Cape Verde were the first team knocked out. They lost to Mali. Tonight's 2 games, Kenya against Algeria, Senegal plays Morocco. Team South Africa will return home from the Commonwealth Games with 28 medals in total, 7 gold, 11 silver and 10 bronze, finishing 11th on the overall table. The team got 1 more medal than 4 years ago in Birmingham. In Currie Cup rugby yesterday, Boland suffering their first defeat. They lost to Pumas 2015. The Lions remain unbeaten and top of the table after their 23-point win over the Bulls on Saturday. And in cricket, the West Indies resumed day 2 of the second test on 239 for 5 against Pakistan. Greaves will be there on 64. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
17 to 9. Let's catch up with the roads now. Our final report for the morning. Amu, how many cups of coffee are you going to have today? Having heard all of that good news?
Maybe one more. Because,
Maybe one
yeah,
more, yeah.
One more.
It's for your health.
Wrap it up.
It's for your health.
It's for
yes, that's what it is.
Well, we've got delays on the N3 North. This is just as you approach the Kiluli's interchange. There's also queuing traffic on the Maikwan North between the Kilani Bends and Grayston Drive. If you were traveling within the inner city areas like in Bryanston as well as Sandton, do expect heavy traffic volumes along Winnie Mandela Road Drive, right as you approach the Sandton Drive exit. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N12 West leaving Benoni. That's due to an accident right near Tom Jones causing delays. More updates at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Cloud adoption is no longer the differentiator. Business value is. Today's leading organizations need more than technology platforms. They need better visibility, faster decision-making, and the agility to respond to change. BCX connects cloud, cybersecurity, managed services, AI, and trusted telecom business connectivity into one intelligent ecosystem that helps organizations improve operational performance, strengthen resilience, and create measurable business outcomes. BCX. Connected multi-cloud, intelligent business. BCX enables businesses. Visit bcx.co.za.
Peregrine Capital presents Brian Habana's Count to 100.
In my journey to 100, it started with my first cap, then my second, 10th, 50th, 90th, 99th.
Brian Habana, his 100th international test. You get to 100 one decision at a time. For 28 years, Peregrine Capital has applied that same discipline to turn 1 million rand into 100 million. Peregrine Capital. Invest in performance. An authorized FSP. Past performance non-indicative of future performance. T's and C's apply.
Hi, this is Carol Shabalala, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. It's more fun when it's for fun. Playing responsibly is always a winning strategy. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counseling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Morning, Bongani teams. In terms of hacking, I've done Number for Life around 2007. And last year, the people around me were being hacked left and right. With me, because I did their Number for Life, they only stole my phone book, and with a different SIM card, they were asking people for money. So people who knows me, like the people I will call Cupcakes or Gorgeous, those guys were calling them by first names, and I've never called most of the adults that I have as my contacts first names. So that's those are the people who notice that something is wrong. Why will suddenly this guy call us Bongani when I always call you Bra B or Mr. B? So yeah, they tried hacking me, but Number for Life works.
We're talking earlier, of course, about being hacked. People get your number, they get your name, they get your contacts, and then you're hacked. And they use that information to get to your contacts to try and, scam them. There are certain settings you need to make sure you've got so that you don't fall victim to this scam.
Hey, we buy cars. How does it work if I want to sell my car?
We'll drive to your place. You can visit our pods. Even if you don't have space, then at the mall in a parking lot, we've got lots of depots all across the land. Contact We Buy Cars. You're in safe hands. Safe hands.
Wow, that's great.
We Buy Cars, the easiest way to sell your car by far.
Looking to save money on your business insurance? Switch to Outsurance Business Insurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Here's Niku from the Gas Mart.
I was my previous insurer for 9 years before switching to Outsurance Business Insurance. I'm very happy with my premiums at the moment. I wish we switched sooner to Outsurance Business Insurance.
Get a quote to switch and save today. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 0600 60,000. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Audience, you know what time it is. Say it with me. No way. South Africa, it's after winning Shannon Ezra.
Listen, baby, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby. If you need me, call me, no matter where you are, no matter how far. Don't worry, baby, just call my name, I'll be there in a hurry. You don't have to worry, 'cause baby, there
ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley
low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you.
The national flower has been revealed, has been exposed. For weeks, she had South Africa guessing behind the petals of the Protea on the Masked Singer South Africa. The detectives guessed everyone. They thought athletes, they thought radio personalities, but they didn't guess one of the country's best known and best loved actresses behind the mask. And of course, it turned out that the voice behind the mask belonged to SAFTA winning actress Shannon Ezra, who joins us this morning as the latest singer to be unmasked.
Sweet release.
What a run, hey?
What a wild ride, my word. My
Sweet
goodness.
release?
It was really quite it was very relieving to be unmasked, actually. The adrenaline was too much.
So I thought they should have made you an eagle.
I mean,
a legal eagle.
I think that would have been too on the nose.
Too obvious.
No, we had to be really careful about the clue packages.
Yeah.
You know, I said we can't mention anything about legal,
The law.
law, court, justice. You know, otherwise people would immediately
Make the connection.
Make the leap, and what's the fun in that?
So I have to ask you this question because you have played a legal eagle so many times, often the same character.
Oh, Sandra Stain, yeah, she's been on 7 shows.
You know, on different shows.
Yeah.
Do people come up to you and ask you for legal advice?
Often.
Really?
Yeah, I used to get when in certain seasons of, like, say, The River or The
Yeah.
Queen, where she was she was in a prominent storyline,
Mm.
and I'd have people DMing me at all times of the morning, telling me they've been arrested. Can I help? I'm just like, I'm not a lawyer.
You do know.
I really can't.
Have you
help
been in a sticky situation where having played that character helped you make smart decisions on your feet?
like a sticky situation with the police officer?
No, just, I mean, any legal whatever. Maybe it's even advice for your whatever.
I certainly have taken a lot of knowledge away, but also because I do love watching legal shows. But I can't think specifically to a
Yeah.
moment where I've been like, aha, hold on.
I know the answer to this one. I know the
Yeah,
answer
you know.
to this one. So what made you say yes to the Masked Singer?
Firstly, it was such an honor to be asked.
Yeah.
It really, really
It is.
was.
It
was.
is actually, yeah.
I really was flabbergasted that they had asked for me, and then, of course, I went into total mental panic. I was like, "What does this mean? What do I do? What's the data? What do I need to be aware of?"
And how
then
did you choose the songs?
that was the analysis paralysis was intense, but I did have a little bit of assistance. But I'd kind of had gone through some things that kind of sit in my range. But I was like, you know what? Let's go with whimsy and frivolity and fun. Let's do something different that's completely outside of my comfort zone. Let me challenge myself. And the thing is that it was really challenging in ways I had never expected, and I'm so glad, because it was very technical. There were a lot of demanding aspects that had nothing to do with the performance. As an actor, you're used to making eye contact, engaging, being even less than natural. Whereas this was, it's a performance, it's big. I can't rely on any of the tools that I have naturally at my disposal. And the mask itself was incredibly heavy. I was tied into my wardrobe. I had very limited movement. I was complete. The visual impairment that was, I think, the most
difficult,
the most
navigate.
Challenging thing to navigate, because I could only, I had no peripheral vision, and then with the lights on top. So it was so technical. I was like, I had to trust that my muscle memory would do the rest.
Because I suppose
it was blind faith in a way.
I suppose a lot of film and television acting requires that intimacy with the camera.
Completely.
But The Masked Singer, I suppose, gives sort of the theatrical side
And
to come
that's
out,
so
right?
and that's
to
why
use that stage.
And that's
to
what's
fill
so
it.
incredible about watching it. But I couldn't make any eye contact with anybody. I didn't know how anything was landing. I felt like I was in a sensory deprivation tank inside the mask. It was wild.
Now, how difficult has it been to keep it away from your nearest and dearest?
As actors, we're very used to going, listen, I've got an NDA. Sorry, I can't discuss this. But what is interesting is when people resist it. They're like, what do you mean? No, you can tell me. It's like, no, I can't.
Did people in your life think it was you?
No.
Nobody knew?
No.
Really?
No.
And isn't that a little bit of fun as well?
Well, that's the whole thing, is it's so fun. When people get the surprise. And that was one of the reasons why I also decided to do it. I was like, this is for the fans.
I'm looking at all the names that people thought. Gerda Steyn, Shoma Josie, Kuzo Teledi, Moonchild. I mean, which one did you think, oh, come on?
I think it was in the first episode when they thought it was Rachel Khaleesi. I was vibrating in that costume, yeah.
Isidingo, the
Yes,
Queen,
yeah.
the River, Lioness. Where does The Masked Singer rank amongst your most, I mean, of course, the others are your actual true professional performances, but in terms of fun, where does this rank?
I think this is a firm highlight. Look, I'll be honest, when the mask came off, then it felt a lot more fun, because suddenly I could see people, and I
Relief,
felt
as you said.
the relational aspect became tangible to me. It was, like I said, it was one of the most challenging technical things I've ever done.
One of the things, sorry if I may come in, one of the things I think about with The Masked Singer that I think is unique in terms of how it unfolds is that once the audience, and certainly once the detectives, know who it is, I sometimes get the sense that they regret that it's you now who's going out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That now that they know who it is, oh no, I want to see more of her doing this.
Yeah.
But by then it's too late.
It's too late. But that's just that's how the show goes, and that's also why it works so well.
What did it teach you about yourself as a performer?
It taught me just how important it is to connect with the other on the other side, whether it's the character, but also to trust what's happening in my body, and to be able to rely on those aspects. That was completely removed, and also just to, I take what I do very, very seriously.
Yeah.
So a lot of the decision to do it, I was like, let me take myself less seriously.
Yeah.
But turns out that I can't. Everything that I do it becomes so important to me. I become totally obsessed with what I'm doing. It's also why I'm very bad at splitting my focus. So it kind of it enhanced the things I already know about myself. And it's fine. I don't have to bend myself into being something other than what I'm not. So it was actually really self-affirming.
We always love to get to know people in ways perhaps they wouldn't ordinarily be
Totally.
asked questions. And
Yeah.
so we're going to have a little bit of fun with you. With
Okay.
some rapid fire. We're going to get some
these
music
are so hard.
as quickly as you can without hesitation.
no, okay.
Please tell us. I'll make it easy for you.
No,
at the
you
beginning
won't.
at least. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Read the movie or read the book or watch the movie?
Watch the movie.
Cook at home or take out?
Both.
Choose. Cook at home or take out?
Cook at home.
Your ultimate comfort food.
Sushi.
If you could learn any language, instantly master it, which would you
Italian.
choose? A song you never get tired of hearing.
Oh, that's too hard. There's so many. And brain shutdown.
Ain't no mountain high enough.
I mean, listen, I do love the song.
Time travel. Do you choose 100 years into the future or 100 years into the past?
Oh, no, I'm going back.
If you were a superhero, what minor, slightly useless superpower would you want to have?
Minor.
Minor.
I'm a minor.
Nothing big, not telepathy or telekinesis, nothing like that. Just a minor little superpower.
That if I think of something, it just arrives.
That's not minor. That would be quite major. All
That's
right,
what
all
came.
right. I was thinking something like, your hair is just always done.
That would be
lovely.
that one, yes.
Does pineapple belong on a pizza?
Yes.
I don't like you anymore. Okay, she can go. We're done. A movie title that best describes your life right now.
What doesn't kill you makes you funny.
One word you hope people would use to describe your work.
Real.
Something everyone loves, but you hate.
Coriander.
What?
It's disgusting.
What?
It's genetic. I can't help it.
What? Beautiful. Shannon Estra, SAFTA winning actress, and this week's Unmasked Singer.
Woohoo!
702.
More than a radio station.
Let's walk the talk.
And look at the time. The 702 Breakfast Show with Bongani Bingwa was brought to you by BCX, connecting cloud, telecom business connectivity, AI, and more to help organizations reduce complexity, improve resilience, and unlock opportunities. It's 9 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I am Sfiso Zulu. Brown Mokgotsi is set to appear in the Johannesburg Magistrates Court today for a pre-trial hearing after losing his urgent bid to be released on bail. Mokgotsi remains behind bars after the High Court dismissed his bid for bail last week. The court found he had failed to present any new facts to justify his release, leaving